Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Dental Board California meeting. My name is Dr. Lilia Larin. I am the president of the Dental Board. Today is Wednesday, August 12, 2026. This board meeting is being held via teleconference with the disclosed in-person location available for board and public member participation. For all those who wish to participate online, please log on to the WebEx website provided on the posted agenda for this meeting. Instructions to connect to the meeting are provided on the agenda. During each call for comments from board members and speakers, we will ensure that all comments that can be accommodated are heard before proceeding with the agenda. This is an official business meeting of the Dental Board of California. The board welcomes public comments on any item on the agenda, and it is the board's intent to ask for public comment prior to the board taking action on any agenda item. Please be mindful of the words and tone you use when sharing your thoughts. We understand that issues discussed here may be deeply personal or frustrating, especially when we find ourselves on opposite sides of an issue. But even in disagreement, we ask that everyone engage respectfully. Let's aim for a dialogue that is constructive rather than contentious. Please remember that every process, discussion, and decision undertaken by this board is grounded in our mission to protect consumers. That remains at the heart of all we do. The DCA moderator will explain the process for providing public comment shortly. For individuals participating via WebEx, when called upon, the moderator will give the individual permission to unmute themselves, and they will have 2 minutes to make public comment. The moderator will audibly announce when 30 seconds remain to conclude the public comment. After the 2 minutes have lapsed, the individual will be placed back on mute. Only one public comment per agenda item is allowed per attendee. We ask that all speakers to please stay on topic and not repeat testimony already provided. If you agree with testimony already provided, please just state that you are in support of any comments previously provided. I would like to ask the DCA moderator to please explain how comments will be taken during this meeting.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the moderator of the meeting. For purposes of today's meeting, when the board president opens public comment, members of the public who would like to provide public comment at our DCA location in Sacramento can approach the table and microphone at the front of the room. For those joining via WebEx, when the board opens for public comment, I will announce that a comment period is open. Members of the public will then be able to click on the hand icon to raise their hands. Instructions will also be on the screen. Call-in users will need to press *3 to raise their hands. You will have 2 minutes to provide your public comment with a 30-second warning before your time is up. Instructions to connect to the meeting can be found in the WebEx Quick Start document that is linked on page 1 of the meeting agenda. If you are experiencing audio issues and are using a computer or mobile device, follow the call-in instructions on page 2 of the WebEx Quick Start document to use your phone as a speaker. While you are free to express criticism or negative views for the sake of the members of the public participating on the call, please do not use profane language when making public comments to the board. I will provide a brief reminder of this approach at the start of each public comment item. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you, DCA moderator. This meeting is called to order. There's one board member participating in this meeting remotely. Each board member participating remotely must disclose whether there are any individuals 18 years of age or older present in the room at the remote location with the board member and the general nature of the member's relationship with any such individuals. Dr. Forge, is there anyone 18 years of age or older present in the room with you at your remote location?
No.
Thank you, Dr. Forge. Board members participating remotely are reminded that they must visibly appear on camera during the open portion of the meeting. If the remote member experiences any trouble with visibly appearing on camera, the member shall announce the reason for their non-appearance when they turn off their camera, such as due to challenges with internal connectivity. I will now ask the board secretary to please call the roll. Mr. Deerking?
Good morning, Madam President. John Deerking, Board Secretary, will now take the roll. Chan? Chan present. Cheng? Cheng present. David?
David present.
David present. Deerking is present. Felsenfeld?
Felsenfeld present.
Felsenfeld present. Forge?
Forge present.
Forge present. Grewal?
Grewal present.
Grewal present. Larin?
Larin present.
Larin present. Medina? Medina present. Olage?
Augie present.
Okay, present. Takur,
Takur present.
Takur present. Bader Hobley,
Vader Hobley present.
Bader Hobley present. You
Present.
present. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Before we will pass on to agenda item number 2, public comment on items not on the agenda, on page 8. Before we open public comment on matters not on the agenda, I would like to remind individuals making comments not to discuss pending complaints, pending licensing applications, or pending disciplinary actions that may later come before the board for a decision. Such discussions are considered ex parte communications as they could provide information that board members that is outside of the record in violation with the Administrative Procedure Act. Such discussions could create a conflict and lead to a board decision being challenged in Superior Court. Accordingly, if an individual makes comments on a pending disciplinary matter, the individual will be interrupted. The board can, of course, receive comments regarding the board's processes in general, but it cannot receive comments on specific case circumstances where the decision is still pending. In addition, public comments should address the board as a whole and not individual members. Please be aware that public comment during this agenda item should provide information to the board members, but it is not a discussion between the board members and the public. The only action board members can take right now is to listen to comments and decide whether they want a future agenda item on the topic. Though this may seem at times like the board members are not being responsive, following these guidelines is critical to ensure the rules of the Open Meeting Act are followed to avoid compromising the speaker's goals or the board's mission. In the interest of time, as we have done in the past, we would like to request that public comments not repeat statements made by the prior commenter. If you are in support of a statement made by a prior individual and your comments have already been made, please just state that you support the previous commentator. Legislative hearings rarely use this practice as it is a good way to ensure that we can hear from everyone today. Are there any in-person public comments on this agenda item? Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Sherry Becker representing the Alliance. I would ask for an update on the RDA opening on the dental board. The status. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay. Are there any public comments from individuals participating via WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment for items not on the agenda, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, DCA moderator. We will now move on to agenda item number 3, discussion and possible action on May 13th through 14th, 2026 board meeting minutes, page 9 to 30. Is there any board member discussion on the minutes from May 13th through 14th?
I'll move approval.
I think we have one question from Dr. Shan.
Can. It said that when you're in leadership, he or she who has the mic has the power. But being technically challenged, I didn't know how to turn on the power. So page 2 of 22, sort of mid-paragraph, once upon a time, it says that the California Society of Pediatric Dentists, CSPA, with all due respect, editorially, it used to be CSPD. Thank you.
Did you want to change something?
Well, editorially, can we change it to CSPD?
Okay, thank you.
That's the traditional.
Thank you. Any other board member question, discussion on the minutes? No? Seeing none, we have a first already, Mr. David, and do we have a second? Ms. Medina? Okay, so there's a first and a second. Are there any in-person public comments? Are there any public comments from individuals participating via WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Board Secretary, please repeat the motion and call the roll.
Motion is to approve with minor.
David, I.
Elsenfeld, yes.
I can barely hear you.
I'm sorry, the motion was to approve the May 13th and 14th meeting minutes from 2026 with a minor edit by Dr. Chan.
Aye.
George, aye. Grewal?
Grewal, aye.
Grewal, aye. Larin?
Aye.
Larin, aye. Medina? Medina, aye. Olage?
Olage, aye.
Olage, aye. Takur?
Takur, aye.
Takur, aye. Bader Hobley?
Vader Hobley, I.
Bader Hobley, aye. And you?
You, I.
You, aye. Madam President, the motion passes.
Thank you. Dr. Forge, are you having trouble hearing the entire meeting or just certain individuals or?
I just didn't hear that when he took roll that last time. Everything
can
else
hear-
I can
okay.
hear.
You can hear everything else? That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to agenda item 4, Board President Report for August is, since our last meeting, I have continued our weekly meetings with our Executive Director Officer, Mr. Bryce Doherty and Ms. Olage to discuss ongoing board matters, priorities, and upcoming activities. We also continue our work toward a more efficient committee structure and reporting process to improve communications and help the board operate more effectively. Earlier this year, I completed the mandatory Department of Consumer Affairs orientation program required for reappointments, which I didn't report last meeting. In May, I attended the CDA Presents in Anaheim, where I served as speaker host. I also attended the annual joint breakfast meeting of the International College of Dentists and American College of Dentists, as well as a webcast seminar regarding proposed dental cal cuts and their potential impact on the access to dental care. In June, I attended the graduation ceremony of the San Diego County Dental Society's nonprofit dental assisting training program. I was encouraged to see another group entering the dental workforce at a time when workforce development remains so important to our profession. I attended a pediatric oral health grant initiative signing ceremony between the UCLA School of Dentistry Pediatric Program and the University of Baja California, UABC, Pediatric Dental Program in Tijuana, Mexico. This first of its kind grant collaboration between the two countries is an important step in academic and binational cooperation to improve pediatric oral health. In June, I connected with Ms. Kimber Cobb, Executive Director of the American Association of Dental Boards, and invited her to speak for our meeting today. And I'm very pleased to see she's joined us and discuss the opportunities for collaboration and the benefits of our membership. Along with Ms. Olage and Mr. Doherty, I participated in discussions with stakeholders regarding proposed dental board amendments to Assembly Bill 1307, including provisions related to candidates taking the ADEX examination before being accepted into the proposed program. These discussions provide an important opportunity to hear different perspectives and remain engaged on legislative issues affecting the board, the profession, and the public we serve. The dental board meeting dates for 2027 have been tentatively set in order that we can plan well in advance. And I want to thank all my fellow board members, dental board staff, and our stakeholders for their continued dedication, collaboration, and support. I am grateful for everyone's contributions and for the opportunity to continue working in service of the public. Are there any board members' discussion? This finalizes my report. Any board member discussion? Any public comments? Are there any public comments via WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen, or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, DCA moderator. We'll move on to agenda item 5, Executive Officer Report. Mr. Price Doherty.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple of housekeeping items briefly this morning. First, on the personnel front, the current board staff vacancy rate at the board is at a historic low of 4.8%. This is a testament to the fact that the board is well managed and remains a rewarding place to work. Also noteworthy, Governor Newsom's 4-day-a-week return to office executive order for state employees took effect on July 1st of 2026. With us this morning, to my immediate left, is our interim board counsel, Ileana Butu. Ileana comes to us from the Department of Consumer Affairs, Legal Affairs Division. Board counsel assignments are a pooled resource for most boards and bureaus provided by the department. Due to a recent reorganization of the DCA Legal Division, the board has been assigned new board counsel, Michael Knoes. I look forward to introducing Michael to you at our November board. I'd like to take a moment and recognize a notable achievement by two of our board members. First, Dr. Vader Hobley, who late last year accepted a fellowship invitation from the International College of Dentists at their convention ceremony at the Manchester Grand Hyatt in San Diego. College has been honoring the world's leading dentists since 1920 and is the oldest and largest international dental honor society in the world, with over 12,000 members designated as fellows in more than 140 countries. Fellowship in the college is by invitation only and is granted in recognition of an individual dentist's outstanding professional achievement, notorious service, dedication to the continued progress of dentistry for the benefit of humankind. Please join me in giving Dr. Vader Hobley a belated but well-deserved congratulations on this highly esteemed recognition. Second, now that my microphone is on, Dr. Yu recently received his doctorate of acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine from the University of East-West Medicine in Sunnyvale, California. This professional clinical distinction trains students in both traditional acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine alongside Western biomedical science and integrated patient care. Please join me in another round of applause congratulating Dr. Yu on this outstanding achievement. I guess that makes you Dr. Yu. Thank you, Madam President. That concludes my report.
Okay, we also have another board member that won an award from the American College of Dentists. Dr. Chan, please. Oh, the National Dental Association. Can you please mention the award?
The National Dental Association is the Black member equivalent of the American Dental Association. So in Richmond, Virginia, last month, the chairman offered a citation for access and inclusion of the relationships between the National Dental Association I was a past president of the American College of Dentists, this nation's honor society. So we're reaching out, and we're reaching out that all of the profession is under our umbrella. Thank you.
Okay, big round of applause. Woo! Anybody else? Thank you to everybody. Do we have any public comment on this agenda item? Any comments on WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doherty, for your report. We'll move on to agenda item number 6, report on Department of Consumer Affairs DCA activities, which may include updates on DCA's administrative services, human resources, enforcement, informational technology, communications, and outreach, as well as legislative, regulatory, and policy matters. I will ask Lucia Saldivar, DCA Board and Bureau Relations Deputy Director, to provide this report. Good morning.
Good morning, Madam President, board members, and staff. My name is Lucia Saldivar, and I'm the Deputy Director of Board and Bureau Relations at the California Department of Consumer Affairs. Thank you so much for the opportunity to provide a brief update from the department. Firstly, on May 12th, Governor Newsom announced the appointment of Rohit Chopra as Secretary of California's new Business and Consumer Services Agency, which officially launched this year on July 1st. Secretary Chopra previously served as director of the U.S. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and as a commissioner on the Federal Trade Commission, where he led major efforts to crack down on junk fees, corporate misconduct, and unfair practices harming consumers and small businesses. We are so excited to welcome Secretary Chopra, and we look forward to carrying out our shared consumer protection mission under his leadership. We will continue to keep board and bureau leadership informed about any additional updates from the new agency at future meetings. Next, some training updates and reminders. The next board member orientation training, also known as BMOT, will take place on October 21st. And this is an all-day virtual training which must be completed by board members within 1 year of appointment and reappointment to their board. Please register for the first available date to be in compliance. And secondly, on May 26th, DCA launched its internal defensive driver training, which is now available on DCA's learning management system, also known as LMS. This training is mandatory for state employees, including board and bureau members, who operate vehicles on official state business. It's a 2-hour interactive session which covers safe driving practices, rules of the road, required forms for state travel, and accident response procedures. Board members can register for BMOT or defensive driver training on LMS, but if you have any questions on accessing LMS, or if you would like to check to make sure that you're in compliance with any mandated trainings, please don't hesitate to contact us at memberrelations@dca.ca.gov. And to close, I would like to thank you so much for your dedicated service to the board. I'm available for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Saldivar. Do we have any board member discussion? Any in-public comments? Do we have any comments through WebEx? DCA moderator, please open discussion line.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, DCA moderator. Ms. Saldivar, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We will now move on to agenda item number 7, Dental Assisting Council Meeting Report, page 34. I will ask Jerry Fowler, Chair of the Dental Assisting Council, to present this agenda item.
Thank you. The Dental Assisting Council of the Dental Board of California met this morning, Wednesday, August 12th, 2026, After calling the meeting to order and establishing a quorum, public comment was taken. The May meeting minutes were approved. The executive officer reported on recent board activities, and updates were provided by board staff on dental assisting examination, licensing, and program and course approvals. A presentation on opportunities and resources for dental assistants was provided by the Dental Assisting National Board, DANBY. And finally, updates were provided on legislation and proposed regulations. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Felder. Appreciate it. Any board member discussion on this item? Any public comment? Any in WebEx comments? DCA moderator, please open the lines.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen, or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Felder. We will now move on to agenda item number 8, budget report, page 35 through 40. And I will ask Wilbert Rumbao, Administrator Services Unit Manager, to present this agenda item.
Good morning, board members. Wilbert Rumbawa. I will provide a brief summary of the board's budget for fiscal year 25-26, and I will give an update on the new budget for the fiscal year 26-27. My report can be found on pages 35 through 40 of your packets. For the revenue projection for the board is projected to revert $20.8 million for fiscal year 25-26. 20.1 million is the current amount, and 3.7 came from initial licensing fees, and 15.4 million came from renewal fees. For the board's expenditures, our budget is 20.4 million, and we're projected to spend roughly 19 million, 11 million from personal services, and 8 million from operating equipment and expenses, which leads us to revert roughly 1.65 million for the end of the fiscal year. As of June 29th, 2026, AB 109 passed, was chaptered, and that was our new budget appropriation for the year. For fiscal year 26-27, our new budget amount is 20.2 million, and our revenue is 21 million. This is strictly an informational report. No action has been requested. Are there any questions from the board members? I see Dr. Chan.
This is Chan. This is without commentary, but just a citation in the report. On page 2 of 3, on the meeting materials 36 of 219, we cite that the general fund loan, $5 million loan, and the interest rate is 0.67%. After 5 years, we earned $131,000 on $5 million. Thank you.
Any other board member discussions?
Dr. Vader-Hobley?
Thank you. This is Board Member Vader-Hobley. So is there a fiscal trigger point that initiates the board to take any action on fee increases?
So if our fund is in something called a structural imbalance, where our expenditures are more than our revenue, then we would put forth a fee, we would request a fee increase. I can provide more information on that at the next board meeting, because we're in the process of going through several reports to be able to provide an accurate projection for the board.
Thank you, Dr. Any other board discussion? Any in-person comments? Seeing none, I will ask the DCAtor to please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, DC moderator. Thank you, Mr. Rumbau. We will now move on to agenda item number 9, page 41, licensing, certifications, permits, and examinations. In addition to serving as board president, I also have the privilege of serving as chair of the board's licensing and examination committee alongside Ms. Olagi. Ms. Olagi, thank you for your valuable insights and support, and especially for the collaborative spirit and teamwork you bring to our committee. I truly appreciate the opportunity to work together. I'm happy to introduce and summarize for the board our next agenda item. First, we have agenda item 9A, dental licensure and permit statistics will be presented by Jody Ortiz, our board chief and licensing and examination unit. Next, agenda item 9B, licensure pathways will be presented by Kelly Garcia, our board licensing and examination manager. And finally, we'll have agenda item 9C, report from the American Board of Dental Examiners will be presented by Stephen Prisby from ADEX Regulatory and Educational Affairs Director, along with their senior advisor, Dr. Guy Champagne. So I'd like to turn now to agenda item 9A, update on dental licensure and permit statistics with Ms. Ortiz. Is she here?
Hi, Dr. Loren. I'm
You're on
online.
WebEx. She's on WebEx. Oh, hi.
Yes, I am. Hi. Good
you.
morning. Thank you, Dr. Loren. As mentioned, my name is Jody Ortiz, and I'm the Chief of Licensing and Examination Unit. And I will be presenting agenda item 9A, which begins on page 41 of your meeting materials. This memo provides an overview of application statistics, law and ethics examination statistics, and licensing and permit statistics for the Dental Licensing and Examination Division from fiscal years 22-23 through June 30th, 2026. I would like to mention and to address that there was a typo oversight in some of the documents for the 24-25 fiscal year under the general anesthesia, medical general anesthesia, and moderate sedation permit numbers for pediatric endorsements on pages 48 and 59 of your materials. I have the correct numbers, which I will share. Some of the columns inadvertently got moved around, so I'm going to go ahead and share that information with you. For the general anesthesia for pediatric under 7, the number shows 286. It should read 123 for the 24-25 fiscal year. Under the medical general anesthesia for PE under 7, the number reads 278. It should read 94. And for the moderate sedation permit for both PE under 7 and 13, it reads 56, it should read 52, and under 7, it reads 55, it should read 51. Those numbers will be addressed and changed for the November board meeting moving forward. Also, beginning on page 50 of your meeting materials, these tables provide statistics on current and active dental licenses by county and the population for dental license. This data is provided by the Department of Finance Demographic Research. This information was as of July 1, 2025. In the November board meeting, we will have new data that has come out as of July 1, 2026, and that information will be presented, updated information will be presented at the board meeting. However, Yuba County continues to have the highest population per dentist, and both Alpine and Sierra counties continue to have the lowest population per dentist. There is no action requested, as this is informational only. And this concludes my agenda item, and I return the floor back to you, Dr. Loren.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Do we have any board member discussion? Dr. Felsenfeld.
Felsenfeld, excuse me, I have a question. I'm looking at the very beginning of your report relative to, let me see if I can find it again, relative to here it is right here, I believe on page 42. You're talking about applications approved and people who are getting licenses. It is my understanding that the REB is disappearing. It's been subsumed by ADEX. Is that disappearing now? There was a little bit of a lag time, as I
No, that
understand.
there's a lag time. So 2027.
So one more year of being able to take
It's
REB.
no longer being provided, but we
No,
will
I understand.
accept it. Yes. Mhm.
Accept it for 5 years. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Any other board member questions, discussion? Any in-person public comment? Seeing none, are there any public comments for individuals participating via WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, DCA moderator, and thanks again, Ms. Ortiz. I will
You're
move
very
on to.
welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you. I will move on to agenda item 9B, presentation of licensure pathways, page 53 to 67. And today we have Kelly Garcia, licensing permit and examination unit manager, to present this agenda item. Good morning.
An informational overview of current 2026 pathways to dentist licensure in California. This presentation starts on page 53, as Dr. Larin mentioned. And as the licensing and examination unit, our role is to ensure that every applicant, whether a new graduate or experienced dentist, has met the requirements to obtain licensure in California. Today, we'll talk through 3 primary pathways and highlight their requirements. Let's continue. Next slide, please. California offers 3 primary pathways for licensure. Licensure by examination, American Board of Dental Examiners, also known as ADEX. Licensure by residency, and licensure by credential. We'll review each pathway separately. Let's start by looking at our exam-based pathway, which is the most common route for new graduates. So licensure by ADEX is our traditional exam-based pathway and became available as a pathway in 2019. It's primarily used by new graduates from CODA or board-approved dental schools, including foreign-trained dentists who have completed a 2-year advanced standing program and earned a DMD or a DDS. Now, for ADEX scores to qualify, the exam would need to be passed within 5 years preceding the application date. And the first attempt date, whether a pass or fail, begins that 5-year timer. Additionally, the applicants would have to have proof of passing the National Board examination and successfully pass the Law and Ethics examination, which requires a separate application and fee. We would also need to verify any out-of-state license verification if applicable. And all pathways require a passport-style photo and fingerprinting. Now, while the exam pathway is traditional, some applicants prefer an alternative that demonstrates clinical competency through additional postgraduate training, which brings us to our next pathway. Next slide, please. The licensure by residency, which came available as a pathway in 2007. This pathway allows applicants to use CODA accredited advanced education in general dentistry or general practice residency program in lieu of a clinical examination. It's important to note that the residency program duration needs to be at least 1 year and must be completed within 2 years preceding the application date in order to qualify under this pathway. Additionally, successful passing of the national board examination is required, and proof that the applicant has not failed a state, regional, or national examination for licensure to practice dentistry within 5 years prior to the date of application. And this is done by completing the certification of non-failure licensure form. Additionally, the applicant would be required to successfully pass the law and ethics examination, and we would need to verify any out-of-state licenses. For experienced dentists, especially those licensed in the U.S., California offers a credential-based pathway. Now, the licensure by credential is our out-of-state pathway designed for dentists already licensed in another U.S. state, district, or territory that has not been subject to any current or pending disciplinary action, such as revocation, suspension, or probation. Next slide, please. This pathway was first offered by the board in 2002. And within this pathway, there are 5 sub-pathways: clinical practice with residency, pending clinical practice contracts, pending faculty practice contracts, and non-clinical practice. Next, we'll review the requirements that apply across all 5 sub-pathways. Next slide, please. And here they are. So the applicants would need to, of course, have proof of an active and unrestricted license in another state, district, or territory of the United States to practice dentistry that is not subject to any current or pending disciplinary action, again, such as revocation, suspension, or probation. Additionally, they would need to submit the certification of non-failure of licensure form, and they would be required to submit proof of completion of 50 continuing education courses, 10 of which are mandatory courses, and 40 of which are non-mandatory courses, but they must be patient-centered or care-related. Over the next few slides, we'll cover a summary of the requirements that apply to each sub-pathway. Next slide, please. Here we have our first option, which is the clinical practice. This is an unrestricted license, and this pathway is ideal for experienced dentists relocating to California who already hold another U.S. license and meet the practice or faculty requirements. Next slide, please. Our next option is the clinical practice with residency completion. And this is also an unrestricted license. This pathway is ideal for dentists relocating to California who already hold another U.S. license but have not completed the 5,000 hours of clinical practice. For each year of residency counts as 1,000 clinical hours, up to a maximum of 2,000 hours towards the 5,000 hour requirement. So, for example, a dentist with a 2-year residency would be credited 2,000 hours and would need to show proof of completing the remaining 3,000 hours of clinical practice in order to fulfill the 5,000 hour requirement. Next slide, please. The third option is the pending clinical practice contract, and this is a restricted license. This pathway is ideal for dentists relocating to California who already hold another U.S. license but do not have the clinical practice hours. Now, the 2-year contract is for employment at a federally qualified health clinic, so an FQHC, under a restricted license. It is employer specific, including satellite locations. After confirmation of 2 years of completed service, the restriction is removed. Next slide, please. The fourth option is the pending faculty practice contract, which is also a restricted license. Excuse me. This pathway is ideal for dentists relocating to California who already hold another U.S. license but do not have the clinical practice hours, but do have a teaching background. The 2-year contract is for employment at an accredited dental education program approved by the board, such as a CODA-approved school. Like the pending clinical practice contract option, this is employer-specific, including satellite locations. And after confirmation of 2 years of completed service, the restriction is then removed. Next slide, please. Our fifth and final option is the non-clinical practice. This is a new sub-pathway that became available in early 2025. And this pathway is ideal for dentists relocating to California who do not have active clinical practice hours, but they do have non-clinical practice hours with a federal, state, or local public health program in another state. Now let's briefly review the application trends for each pathway. Next slide, please. So here you can see the number of applications received each year from 2022 to 2026, broken out by pathway. This helps illustrate trends and highlights the level of interest in each option. You can see, based on the information, ADEX applications make up the largest amount with 3,994 applications. The LBC or credential pathway shows consistency over the years with 1,095 submissions, suggesting a continued demand from experienced out-of-state dentists seeking licensure in California. The residency pathway makes up a small portion of the applications submitted. Now, foreign trained dentists also have several options depending on their education and experience. Next slide, please. You can go ahead and populate the information in. All right, let's continue. This slide outlines the 6 pathway options available for foreign trained dentists. 4 resulting in an unrestricted dental license, which are licensure by ADEX, licensure by residency, license by credential clinical practice, and license by credential residency. 2 resulting in restricted licenses, and they are license by credential clinical practice contract and license by credential faculty practice contract. Once the contractual requirements are satisfied, the restrictions are lifted. Let's continue. In closing, it's important to restate our goal as the licensing and examination unit, which is to support the Dental Board of California's mission to protect and promote the health and safety of consumers of the state of California by ensuring that every applicant, whether new to the profession or bringing years of experience, meets all the statutory and regulatory requirements to obtain a dental license in California. Today, we talked through 3 primary pathways for dentist licensure in California and highlighted key components of each. I want to thank you, board members, for your time and attention. This concludes the Licensing Examination Unit's overview of the current licensure pathways of 2026. I appreciate the opportunity to share this information. And before I go, I would like to leave you with our direct contact information and the Dental Board's website and direct phone number, which is www.dbc.ca.gov. The direct phone number is 916-263-2300. At this time, I'll turn the meeting back over to Board President, Dr. Larin.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Do we have any board member discussion? Go ahead, Dr. Better-Hobley.
Yeah, I just want to actually thank you for this detailed report. And I'm a byproduct of whatever you talked about, because 20 years ago, when I started my life at UCSF, I went through licensure by credentials, and then I got a limited faculty practice contract. And then after finally, I decided to get an unrestricted license. But thank you.
Dr. Felsenfeld?
I've got a couple, excuse me, Felsenfeld, I have a couple of questions and a little confusion for me. Number one, when a dentist comes in and takes a GPR or AEGD going through that residency, they have up to 2 years after they're completed to apply for the license. Is that what you were saying? It didn't say that in the slides. You said there's a 2-year, they have to do it within a 2-year window to ask for the license after they complete it. Is that correct?
It depends on which pathway they're applying for.
Well-
So if they were applying for the licensure by residency, that would be correct.
Okay.
But if they were applying for one moment.
All right.
I don't want to goof up my words. If they are applying for the license by credential with residency, that 2-year time limit does not apply.
I understand that. Okay. The other thing I have questions about, and I'm going back and I'm trying to figure it out. You couldn't populate your slide, but when you talk about licensure by now foreign trained dentist, someone goes to a school somewhere else, they come in, they can't take ADEX without going to a CODA school, which is fine. That's what we do anyway. Licensure by residency. If there is a CODA approved residency that will take in a foreign dentist and they complete that residency, an AEGD or GPR, then they are eligible for a license here. Is that correct?
Good question.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that question back and do some research and follow up with you if you wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind at all. I think that's very important for our board, and we've been discussing this for a long time. So if someone comes in from the University of Spain somewhere and has a degree there, and there is a residency program that takes in foreign dentists and gives them the 1-year residency, even a longer residency, I guess, but a 1-year residency, then they would be eligible to be licensed here by residency. That's a very important point. I'd like to see that followed up if you don't mind.
Sure.
I had one more.
Another board, go ahead. Doc.
I think I had one more in there that was confusing to me. Let it go with that. Okay, thank you.
So actually, just following up on what Dr. Felsenfeld asked, page 57 on the slides actually says licensure by residency, proof of graduation from a dental school approved by CODA, and proof of completing a 1-year residency. Thank you. Yeah, page 57.
Then I guess that's all.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Yeah, that's the same question I had, but I didn't think you could. I mean, I didn't, so that should maybe be removed. Is that from the slide? Because
I guess
it's
the
not,
question is, should it be a foreign dentist?
No.
That box should not be here is what I think what you're
yes, the
saying,
box should
because
not
that-
be here.
That box is very confusing to me because I've been very involved in licensure, obviously, and I work with an AEG group. So, okay, so that box was what confused me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about a specialty program like orthodontics or oral surgery if they study in a foreign country, the dental school, and then they attended a specialty program? Can you, as a foreign dentist, could you take the license exam and be a orthodontist? Not a residency, a specialty program.
We actually, we license general dentists. We are not in the business of licensing specialties.
But they'd have to get a California license.
True.
So, but they don't have, if somebody graduated from Spain and then they came here and took the orthodontic training program, they graduated and now they're applying for a license in California.
You're talking about a general dentist license?
Yes, no, a general, I think you have to have a general dentist license to practice as orthodontics, don't you? Yes, says,
Asking whether or not we license folks.
no, not for orthodontics, for general dentistry after finishing a specialty program.
In a foreign.
Is that a pathway? Because it says here residency, which we already said it's not. Well, how about specialty programs like orthodontics and endodontics? So it's not a pathway also.
It is.
I- Okay.
Dr. Lorraine, so Board Member Vader Hobley, maybe I can help you with the answer. So at UCSF, we do take in residents who've completed their specialty program from other states or even other countries. And they usually take the ADEX exam and they apply to UCSF in a specialty program. So the board gives them special permit. So each school, I believe, has they can license out 3 or 4 special permits per year. So that's how we've gotten our department chair in the past from Amsterdam through the special permit.
So they can get their California license?
Yes, through a special permit.
Is that another
That's
different pathway? Is that a different
That's
pathway?
my understanding. That's strictly for educational people who want to teach. And each school is allowed a certain number of these.
Hmm.
And they can offer a permit to a foreign dental graduate who's very good in endodontics, let's say, and come into your endodontics department to teach.
Yes, for teaching.
that's for
I
teaching.
did know for teaching, but how about to become an orthodontist? I mean, can they come from another country and have, not have a California license, go to orthodontics and then become a California licensed dentist doing orthodontics?
No.
They can practice within the educational institution for 5 years, and then they can apply for an unrestricted license. And that's what
Oh, okay.
many of them have done. We've had endodontists from Brazil who went through the special permit, and after 5 years, after they met the 5,000 hours of continuing education hours, so they were able to practice, get an unrestricted license and practice outside.
Is that what this would be? Would that be in the second box? Is that part of the, why don't we find out a little bit more about that and you can let us know?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Okay,
Dr. Loren?
go ahead.
Dr. Thakur was ahead.
Dr. Thakur.
Yeah, my understanding is that California does not allow that pathway. So I was pleasantly surprised by what Dr. Vader Hobley just said, that if you did not go to a CODA accredited school but went to a CODA approved residency program, California does, other than AEGD and GPR, like oral surgery, pedo, ortho, any of those, we're not eligible for licensure in California.
Based on that.
Yes.
Is the specialty program the same as residency? Yes, it is. Okay. I was a little confused with that, but yeah, it would be nice to clarify that.
Loren?
And any other, go
I
ahead.
had one more point, just from a little bit of a historical perspective, because I've been attending these boards and not on the board necessarily for about 12 years. When the original licensure by residency with the 1 year or 2 year AEGD GPR came about, the reason it was limited to that and not specialty training is because that mimicked what we used to do on the dental board that the dental board put on, the board exam that the dental board put on with restorative types of things. And that's why it was that. And that's why perio and endo and all those other things were not allowed, because that's not doing just the things we were used to test on.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get a little bit more clarity, but Mr. Doherty has a,
Thank you, Madam President. Bryce Doherty, Executive Officer. Just a technical issue. When slide 66 was populated, the boxes weren't showing, but I just wanted everybody to know that this presentation and all the presentations you'll be hearing today and tomorrow are included in the board packet materials on our website. So just an editorial point, the issue with regards to foreign trained dentists and licensure pathways is has been somewhat of a sticky wicket. So I think we've learned a lot on that today, and we will be sure to report back out at the next board meeting and discuss other pathways, how we can get that information and that clarity out. Thank you.
thank you. Any other board discussion? Any in-person comments?
Hello, Tuka Zokai from the California Dental Association. This was a wonderful presentation, learning a lot about the different pathways. Dr. Loren, I'm going to open the Pandora's box a bit about the different training programs and specifically residencies. So specifically with the dental board, we know that the license is the dental license to be able to practice dentistry. Then we have the residency programs that are recognized throughout the state. However, it's not on the dental board's, purview to track the different specialties, look at the different you know, be it anesthesiology or pediatrics or even dental public health. So with the different residency programs and the lack of clarity on how many pediatric dentists do we have in the state, how many dental anesthesiologists, we can kind of track that with the permitting, but it is an unknown. So I just opened this a bit as maybe a request to the Access to Care Committee, but wanted us to kind of highlight that some of the challenges with not having that clarity with the specialties. Not a priority at this very moment, but as we also look to see, there is the dental license, and that is even if someone who is, did their training in a foreign country, did dental degree there, and then does a residency program here, that doesn't give them the qualification for the dental degree in California. So just throwing that out there as we're trying to also see how many different specialties we do have in the state and how they're trained, and also the different license. Not to say we need different license categories, but it is an unknown. So just calling out the unknown.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Hi.
Sherry Becker, representing Sherry Becker. A point of clarification and a question of what's the difference between restricted versus unrestricted licensure?
Thank you.
Do I get to answer that now? I don't know how this works. So, okay.
Next time. Okay.
More to come.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? Any comments via WebEx? DCI moderator, please open the public comment line.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen, or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will return the meeting back to you.
Thank you, BCA moderator. We will now move on to agenda item 9C, report from American Board of Dental Examiners, ADEX, page 68 through 99. We are delighted to have with us today Dr. Guy Champagne and Stephen Prisby with the American Board of Dental Examiners, commonly referred to as ADEX. Dr. Guy Champagne serves as Senior Advisor to the ADEX, where he provides strategic guidance on examination development, licensure policy, and clinical competency assessment. As a board-certified and oral maxillofacial surgeon, Dr. Champagne earned his dental degree from the University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Dentistry. He has previously served on the Dental Compliance Officer and Executive Director of the Maryland State Board of Dental Examiners. As a nationally recognized leader in dental licensure and regulation, Dr. Champagne is a past president of ADEX and a former president of the American Association of Dental Boards. Throughout his career, Dr. Champagne has been a strong advocate for valid, reliable, and patient-centered assessment methods that support public protection and excellence in dental licensure. Stephen Prisby currently serves as the Regulatory and Educational Affairs Director for ADEX, where he works with state dental boards, educators, and national organizations to advance dental licensure examination standards and regulatory policy. He leads the ADEX outreach to state dental boards across the United States, supporting the adoption of modern, valid, and reliable licensure assessments while fostering collaboration among key stakeholders. Prior to joining ADEX, Stephen served for more than a decade as Executive Director of the Oregon Board of Dentistry, providing leadership in dental regulation, public protection, and licensure administration. He is also a past president of the American Association of Dental Administrators, AADA, reflecting his long-standing commitment to advancing excellence in dental board administration and professional regulations. With this impressive introduction, I now turn this agenda item over to Dr. Champagne and Mr. Prisby for their presentation. Welcome.
Thank you. And thank you again for allowing us to update the California Board on the ADEX examination. It's a pleasure to be with you again. I've been coming for quite a few years, but this is really a significant year because we have significant enhancements to the exam to tell you about and go over it. And I'm going to turn this over right now to my partner in presenting, Stephen, and he'll start the presentation.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Champagne. Thank you, Madam President, for the warm introduction, and we're very happy to be here with you today. I'm going to share my screen so I can, I believe, show the presentation, and you can let me know if you have it on your screen. Is the presentation showing?
Yes, you're all set to go.
Okay, thank you so much. So the ADEX dental exam, the dental exam is the most widely accepted licensure pathway in the United States. The map clearly shows the states that accept the exam. All states accept it for initial dental licensure, except New York and Delaware, which do not accept any independent clinical licensure exams for licensure. The ADEX exam was taken by approximately 98% of all dental candidates last year. For the states that only accept and jurisdictions that only accept ADEX, it's listed on your screen. Those are the 16 jurisdictions that only accept ADEX for initial licensure. It's a similar picture for dental hygiene. The dental hygiene exam is the most widely accepted nationwide exam for initial dental hygiene licensure. Only 2 states do not accept it for initial licensure, including Nebraska and Delaware. Interesting, I presented to Delaware on July 10th, and now their board is going to consider accepting dental hygiene for initial licensure at a fall meeting, and we'll be hopefully have some updates on that later this year. And we're also in discussions with Delaware about their licensure rules. There are the jurisdictions that only accept the ADEX dental hygiene exam for initial licensure. The ADEX dental exam was administered at every single California dental school last year, like it has been for many years. I just took a screenshot, and it's on your presentation showing you the upcoming exams scheduled at the California dental schools. And we also offer the exam outside the U.S.
Yeah, and so this is an interesting concept of how we offer the exam. Dr. Felsenfeld talked about who can take it, i.e. CODA accredited graduates. That's the generally accepted pathway. States who do license international graduates can request a dentist to take the exam, but we give it internationally. So we give it in Mexico. We just gave it in Saudi Arabia. We give it in Canada. We give it in Jamaica. Now, part of the concept is because we give it internationally does not mean it's necessarily for licensure in either that country or the United States. For example, in Mexico and Canada, it is primarily given for licensure in the United States. It is not, it's not acceptable, for example, in licensure in Canada. However, Jamaica, it's given for licensure in Jamaica and several other Caribbean islands, which also require the examination for licensure, but it is not primarily given for licensure in the United States. They're not CODA accredited schools by intent. They did not want a brain drain after the investment that they've done in the students, but they wanted their students to meet the same standards that they do in the United States. So it is a mixture, but it's becoming an international standard.
So what this means is not only as we expand into international markets, the U.S. and the jurisdictions we serve currently have a lot of options. This reduces travel burden, geographic options, whether the exams are offered in their state or a nearby school, flexible scheduling as the exams are basically offered year-round, especially in the high impact timeframes in the spring when the graduates are getting closer to graduation. ADEX sends fully equipped staff, examining teams with all the technology, all the necessary equipment to every testing site that we administer the exam at. So this enhances and improves all states, including California, in letting your graduates get on with their work, get through school, graduate, meet all the licensure requirements, and get that license to practice. Last year, there was an important merger in the fall of 2025. This was between CDCA Reb CETA, which at that time was the leading dental exam administrator, with ADEX, the exam developer. So the official merger is gone through. Everything is integrated fully now. And now the whole organization is referred to as the American Board of Dental Examiners. Now we're standing up our Council on Examinations. Some of the subcommittees have already started meeting, and this is all leading to our big annual meeting coming up in October. The strategic merger combines the strengths of both organizations, and this supports state boards better across the country. It's a streamlined examination process with exam development and exam delivery all integrated. And so now this accepts and sets up the stage that states can accept the exam. And when we talk about the Council on Exams, you see how much your input and all states' input is part of the whole process. There's an overview of the Council on Exams structure. Each board that is a member of ADEX appoints 2 representatives, a dentist and a dental hygienist. And those folks serve on the Council on Exams. They elect a chair and a vice chair, and there's certain things they go through the process, including a dental exam committee and a dental hygiene exam committee. Now, California contributes like every state with having 2 members on the council, and the criteria for membership is listed on your screen there or in your board packet. So the appointees for California for dental is your board president, Dr. Lauren, and for dental hygiene is Joanne Pacheco. Now, all Dental Board of California dentist members are invited also to participate as ADEX examiners. And we always encourage that. And for those that are on the board who are not dentists, you can also serve as an observer, which would be a rewarding and valuable experience for you as well. Dr. Champagne has a lot of experience as an examiner. Do you want to add to this, Dr. Champagne?
Yeah, I think that it's really invaluable to participate in an examination if possible and become an examiner, because it gives you a broad perspective of how dental students are performing today, as well as understanding the assessments. It really, I think it's important to understand the objective grading system. It's criteria based and the performance standards. As you talked about earlier in the licensure pathways, every dentist is licensed as a general dentist. It was the same in my state in Maryland. Even though I'm an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, I had to meet the same standards as every other dentist in the state, because my license is unrestricted. I can practice that way. So I think it's a valuable experience. It's also a valuable experience for non-dentists so that they can have confidence in the examination process.
So the structure of the Council on Exams is shown on your screen. Underneath the council, we have the Dental Exam Committee and the Dental Hygiene Exam Committee. And then Dental Exam also has a number of subcommittees to look at each specific hands-on skills assessment part of the ADEX exam in detail. Now, the ADEX dental exam was set up and patterned after the USMLE, which is the United States Medical Licensing Exam. That is the one exam physicians take in the US on their way to becoming a licensed in any state or jurisdiction in the US. And ADEX was patterned on that. And Dr. Champagne knows well enough and can speak to this in more detail.
Yeah, actually, the entire organizational setup for how ADEX, the examination development entities are appointed, as well as how the examination's developed and the different components of the examination. We actually visited the National Board of Medical Examiners in developing this process. And we wanted to pattern everything as closely as we could to medicine as the closest analog to us clinically.
The components of the ADEX exam are comprised of the 4 hands-on psychomotor skills assessment, the periodontal, endodontic, prosthodontics, anterior and posterior restorative exams, and then the DLOSCI, which is a computerized exam taken at a Prometric testing center. All 5 components are part of the ADEX dental exam. For candidates, in 2025, we served over 13,000, and we've seen growth year over year from 2024. And as I mentioned earlier, the ADEX dental exam last year was administered at every single dental school in the U.S. A breakdown of candidates, it depends on the year they were graduating, but you can see how it feeds into the total. And there are a significant amount of non-current graduates. These would be international candidates, students coming out of residency programs. And am I missing someone else in there, Dr. Champagne?
Yeah, it also is practicing dentists. Not all states have a credentialing pathway like California does. So, most of the credentialing pathways that do exist require you to have taken a clinical exam similar to their state's current exam. And some people were licensed by PGY1 and want to move to a state, for example, that required a clinical exam. So it's a mixture of international graduates. Most of those, though, have taken an accredited pathway. They've entered an advanced standing. So it's either current experienced dentists wanting to move to a state that they don't qualify to practice in currently, or international graduates. And this brings us, this brings us to pass rates, first-time pass rates, which is, I think, of interest to most boards. This is interesting because it's relatively stable over the last 10 years. There is not a lot of variability in the first-time pass rates, and endodontics has always had the lowest first-time pass rate. You see the general first-time pass rates. This is in a single class. This is strictly dental school graduates. These are not experienced dentists. And if we go to the next slide, as we've done every year, this is a comparison of California versus the national class versus non-class. California does as well as, or maybe slightly better in some categories as the rest of the country, and do better than the non-current graduates. And then that differential is almost always international graduates. It's not experienced dentists. The next slide gives you our composite final pass rates. And that's the big question. So you can retake 2 sections. You cannot retake them immediately. You must have remediation. We separate the time period. You cannot take it sooner than 30 days. But you get 2 additional temps in any one discipline. And you see the ultimate pass rates for everyone who takes it. Now, some of these pass rates, they're not necessarily discrete. A candidate may have failed all 5 parts multiple times. So the question becomes, you can see by discipline, again, endodontics is the lowest ultimate pass rate, but they're all very similar. And the ultimate composite rate of unsuccessful candidates is about 1.5%. And that really comports very closely with the USMLE in their ultimate success rates as well. Okay, this is, we're coming to one of the major updates in the examination for dentistry, which began August 1st, so just 10, 12 days ago. We did a new occupational analysis in dentistry. For the previous 18 years, scaling, probing, and charting did not make the occupational analysis for dentistry. They delegated it. They may have supervised it, but they actually didn't perform it. That changed, and it changed dramatically with this new occupational analysis. We have some theories on why this has changed, but now it clearly makes the occupational analysis. Entry-level dentists in their first 5 years are doing scaling, are doing probing, are doing charting and calculus detection. And so we have the exam has been totally changed to require all those disciplines. So there is a separate section on calculus detection. There is a section evaluating your ability to do periodontal probing. And then there is calculus removal. It is no longer done in the same way. They are asked to debride a quadrant, and we check every surface in the quadrant, though 12 surfaces of subgingival calculus that the candidate does not know what those surfaces are evaluated with special emphasis. So the perio section is totally new as of this year. We've been giving it since August 1st. It's actually going very well without an issue. Prosthodontics has also been updated because of the occupational analysis. It probably won't surprise anyone on the dental board that cast metal crowns and porcelain fused metal crowns did not make the task analysis. Entry-level dentists are no longer doing them. So the crowns have been changed to zirconia. However, interestingly enough, the bridge, a 3-unit bridge factor, easily made the occupational analysis and exceeded implants. And that was a surprise to a lot of us. So dentists are still doing bridges, so we still evaluate that. And Stephen's going to tell you about another significant enhancement in our examination, which I think is going to be a significant improvement.
Absolutely. In April, we announced the strategic news and this agreement with the American Dental Association and ADEX. Really a huge agreement. And as I've been talking to states and presenting, this has got a lot of press and a lot of good feedback. So what is happening is that we are taking the American Dental Association's DL-OSCE, their Dental Licensure Objective Structured Clinical Exam, and that is being integrated and incorporated into the ADEX dental exam. So what we're doing is we're taking out the ADEX DSE, which was an OSCE, and now using the ADA's DL-OSCE. And so this will still maintain the whole 5 parts of the ADEX dental exam with the 4 hands-on psychomotor skill assessments, and now the OSCE from the ADA, which is actually the JCNDE, the Joint Commission on National Dental Exams. This is happening. It reflects evolution and a shared commitment to advancing clinical licensure in a way that supports public health, strengthens consistency, and ensures dentists demonstrate competency. It also reduces different options and pathways for licensure. I know California, like many states, looks at a lot of different options, but for the initial licensure pathway, this is significant with having ADA and ADEX work together on this. So just last week, the first ADEX exam incorporating the DL-OSCE was administered. The first OSCE was taken. And so now this has been scheduled since June, and the candidates will be taking it going forward. Eventually, all standalone administrations of the DL-OSCE that the ADA used to host will go away. It's also significant because you may be aware that when the ADA came out with the DL-OSCE, the states that initially supported it were pretty light. I think 6 states initially and still do accept it as a single pathway for licensure, and a couple other states take parts of it with other parts of ADEX or other exams. So now the portability has changed because now the ADEX dental exam, with its acceptance at 48 states and additional jurisdictions and the other countries we're talking about, further aligns and shows that when someone takes an ADEX exam, the portability is there for them to move on or cross state lines. In the slides in your packet, there's information about the DL-OSCE. It's a computerized exam. It's taken at Prometric testing centers. It's scheduled. There's 150 questions. The content is listed on the screen or on your board packet. And we share the scores with state dental boards or those authorized and the candidates or those authorized to get the scores within 24 hours of the exam being completed. It also incorporates 3D images throughout the exam, which is very exciting. And you can look into all the details about the actual OSCE on the JCND website at that site right there. JCND is a very interesting organization. It's the Joint Commission of National Dental Exams. They oversee the Integrated National Dental Board Exam, the DL OSCE, the Dental Hygiene OSCE, and the Integrated National Board for the Dental Hygiene. So JCNDE still has their commission, their 16-member commission, which oversees these exams and the DL OSCE going forward. And then the final updates was just about the strategic initiatives and highlights going on. Invitations are going out for our dental testing and regulatory summit coming up in October outside of Washington, D.C. at the Gaylord National Harbor. This is the annual big event with the ADEX annual meeting, the American Association of Dental Administrators annual meeting, the American Association of Dental Boards annual meeting, and the Educators Conference. It's almost a week full of nonstop dental and dental hygiene fun and good times. So we hope your board chairperson, you attend. Bryce, we hope you can attend as well as other board members. We've talked about the ADEX exam being offered in Saudi Arabia. We continue to monitor license compacts and see what direction they go. And then, of course, the big news with the ADA DL OSCE being integrated into the ADEX exam. We're now in the process of conducting an occupational job task analysis for the ADEX dental hygiene exam, and we should have some information to share about that at our annual meeting. And then we've also updated the ADEX website. So most of the information we cover can be found in different ways on our website, but you can always
I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
I
Oh,
think
you
Stephen
might have muted
accidentally got
yourself.
muted. Yeah.
we have our website where you can reach out to us either through contact us or just reach out to me directly. But we appreciate the time today and we welcome any questions that you have.
Thank you, Dr. Champagne and Mr. Brisby. Do you have any board member comments, discussion? There was a question, Mr. Doherty.
Bryce Doherty, Board Executive Officer. Really appreciate the presentation. A lot of chock full of great information. We here in California, I'm going to pick at the scab a little bit. We in California have had a lot of discussions, specifically legislatively, on not only foreign trained dentists, but licensure pathways, which is why we did the presentation today. Some pilot programs that from dentists from Mexico that is moving through the legislature. And in the interest of full disclosure, I know we have conversed back and forth, and I was delighted to hear that the ADEX exam is now being offered outside of the United States and U.S. territories, and specifically in Mexico at De La Salle University, which used to be a university that the board approved for purposes of licensure for foreign trained dentists. As everybody knows, foreign trained dentists seeking licensure in California must graduate from a CODA approved program. We heard a presentation earlier this morning by Ms. Garcia that spoke to various other pathways, licensure by credential being the primary one that people take advantage of. I guess my question is, for purposes of a foreign trained dentist to be eligible to take the ADEX exam outside of the United States, my understanding is they would need approval from the state licensing board to ADEX in order for them to be granted permission to take the exam. So for example, let's say we have a dentist who is trained in Mexico. De La Salle seems to be the only current location where you're offering the exam. A dentist who's foreign trained in Mexico would be able to go to De La Salle, for example. If a request was made, we would notify ADEX that, for example, that particular dentist we're granting them eligibility to take the exam, and then they'd be able to take it. So I asked this loaded question a little bit because we're dealing with some issues in the legislature right now that that this issue is very specific to. So can you just confirm that that's the appropriate pathway, that somebody would be able to take that exam outside of the United States?
Well, yeah, actually you described it very accurately. So, again, outside the United States, let's take Jamaica, it's irrelevant for our U.S. licensure. But if somebody wanted to seek licensure in the United States and wanted to take it at an accredited school that we go to, the state gives them a qualification to take the exam. We serve dental boards, so we'll give the exam to anyone that the dental board wants us to give it to. However, if they're an unaccredited graduate, they do not get ADEX status per se. They will get state-only status. But yes, we will give it.
This is Board Member Joni Forge. I have a question similar to that. So this is my question. So if you go to an accredited school here in the United States and you're out of the country and you decide to take the exam, that's okay? That's similar. So say you're like in Canada and you decide to take the exam, the ADEX exam in Canada, but you went to school here in the United States at a CODA approved school, you can take the exam in Canada if you want to.
That's correct. That is correct. So any place we give the exam, if you're a CODA, we give the exact same exam everywhere. It does not vary. The team will come from our team of examiners in ADEX, which they'll administer it wherever it happens. You mentioned a very interesting case. So we go to Dalhousie, we give the exam. Most of those candidates taking it there are are people who want to practice in the U.S. who attended school in Dalhousie because they have certain spaces they allow for people from specifically, most often, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. But if somebody else went there or anyone who went to an accredited school in the United States just happened to be in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and that's what and they want to take the exam, they would be allowed to if the school is an open site. So the only other qualifier is the school has to allow outside candidates, and some schools do and some don't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other board member discussion? I did have just a basic question. If a non-dentist member of the board wanted to participate as observer on exam, should we contact Mr. Prisby, or who should we contact?
Yes, madam.
How can that be set up?
Yeah, Madam President, just have them contact me or get me their contact info, and I'll connect with them and work on all the details and logistics. Myself, as a non-practitioner, I was able to observe exams, and so it's a very valuable and rewarding experience to see it up front.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, by the way. Do we have any other in-person public comments? I mean, the microphone, the button.
There we go. It's like a
There,
touch button.
hear you.
I'm like, I swear I took my coffee. I'm Evelyn Boutien, representative for California Society of Pediatric Dentists. And I want to thank you, Dr. Champagne and Mr. Brisme and Dr. Loren for organizing this wonderful presentation. I do have a question, an inquiry, and wondering if we are following the USMLE model for medical practitioners with the test. There's a lot of pediatrics that is integrated in the USMLE test. And I've noticed during the ADEX test, perhaps there is some pediatric dentistry questions involved in it. And this stems from a more access to care issue, knowing that we have over 73 million children in the United States. And we know that dental disease in childhood is 5 times more common than in asthma. There's 5 states currently with an average of 15 pediatric dentists within the state. So our specialty is unable to see all the children in need. And thus we need general dentists more than ever now to see our children. And a lot of times we do notice that sometimes they don't arrive until age 5 or 6, to the dentist office, general dentist, and that has becoming less common, thankfully. But we're wondering if there's any consideration or if there has been history in the past of having a pediatric dental specialist on the subcommittee so that having the test will somehow reverse engineer more emphasis and education for our great pediatric population.
That's a fabulous question. Actually, we do have pediatric dentists, board certified pediatric dentists who are examiners with us. However, what we test has to be based on the occupational analysis. So it is grounded in what entry-level dentists do in their first 5 years of practice. Interestingly enough, pediatric procedures don't make that cut score. They don't, entry-level dentists aren't doing them. It's not that they shouldn't be, but it's not what they are doing. So the pediatric dental components of the examination are really covered in the DSE and now the DL-OSCE on evaluation, evaluating the patient, when to refer, how to handle those things in the way that a practitioner would do in the first 5 years. Your comments, I think, are right on point, but how licensure exams are constructed is actually the hands-on procedures, especially, is what they actually do.
Thank you for your comment and question. Any other in public comments? Please open the WebEx so we can have online public comment. Thank you, moderator.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen, or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Well, thank you again, Dr. Guy Champagne and Stephen Brisby, and we're so lucky to have you, and I look forward to learning more about ADEX as years go by. Thank you again.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a lunch break now until 1:15. Thank you. We'll see you a little bit later. First, hello, everybody. Hope you had a great lunch. We went to visit the dental board office, so that was kind of interesting. Let's see. We are now on agenda item 10A, general anesthesia and sedation permits, inspections and evaluation statistics on page 100. I would like to hand this agenda item over to the chair of the Board of Anesthesia Committee, Dr. Alan Felsenfeld.
Thank you, Madam President. Dr. Chan and I represent the Board Anesthesia Committee. The purpose of this committee is to monitor the use of systemic sedation and general anesthesia by dentists and other providers to ensure safety in the provision of these services to the public. In addition, this committee is tasked with reviewing and making approval or denial recommendations to the board related to applications and renewals of sedation permits. At this time, the Anesthesia Committee is nothing to report. Today, the Board Anesthesia and Customer Service and Support Unit Manager, Ms. Jessica Olney, will be presenting the general anesthesia and sedation permits and inspection evaluation statistics. With that, Madam President, I'd like to recognize Ms. Olney to present this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Felsenfeld, and good afternoon, members of the board. Again, my name's Jessica Olney. I'm the manager for the customer service and anesthesia units at the board. This memo provides a statistical overview of the anesthesia unit's on-site inspections and evaluations for general anesthesia, medical general anesthesia, and moderate sedation permit holders. The evaluations are essential for ensuring regulatory compliance and safety when anesthesia and sedation are administered in dental offices. The memo also includes an update on our current evaluator pool, which can be found on page 109. No action is requested on this memo, and I'm available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Ms. Olney. Do we have any board member discussion?
I had something, if you allow me to find out where in this report, made a note to ask a question or make a comment here. No, that's not it. Let me go back here. I was talking about, and I was talking with Ms. Olney about this a little earlier, that it appears that we are not having problems with evaluators like we used to. Over the years, I was talking about we need more evaluators, and over the years, we've made some changes to the evaluation structure and all that, and we are not canceling anesthesia evaluations due to the lack of people to do them. So that's a good thing that we are able to do our responsibility relative to that. And if you want to comment on that, I can't find the actual chart number. Oh, here it is right here, I think. Maybe in general anesthesia, the very first part of it, the GA evaluation statistics for the first part of the fiscal year, you have very few which are canceled because of that. Canceled for lack of evaluators. Some postponed. Yeah, is it 101? Yeah, I'm seeing that, but that's not what I was looking at earlier. All right. Anyway, do you want to make the comments that you told me about earlier in terms of why this is happening or why this is happening in a good way? Because this is good that we're not canceling so many for lack of getting someone to help.
Yes, it is a good trend. This is partly because we changed the structure of the evaluator requirements. We now only require one evaluator when this is the individual's second or subsequent evaluation. 2 evaluators are required when it's the permit holder's first evaluation or in the event that they fail and they're reevaluated. So that really does help us with scheduling. You have to consider when you're scheduling an evaluation, the permit holder has to have a live patient that they're going to put under sedation or anesthesia. They have to have their staff present, as well as the 1 to 2 evaluators. And coordinating that does have its challenges, not only just the initial scheduling, but also emergencies that might arise. So we are happy to see that number falling.
How many evaluators do we have now?
Evaluators?
Evaluators.
I always like to say close to, somewhere between 300 and 400. If you look at page 109, it's broken down by the type of permit as well as Northern or Southern California region. Southern is typically anything below Fresno. We consider Northern anything from Fresno and above. With the Central Valley, a lot of our evaluators, we have many that will travel from even here in Sacramento to the Fresno area or, vice versa from the southern area to the Central Valley. So I would say we're close to 400. But you have to remember that most of the evaluators are currently practicing dentists. They're essentially volunteering their time for this and going out when they can.
And how many, what's the total people that have a sedation license? Do you know particular?
I can actually tell you really quickly. If you look at some of the earlier statistics for the license and permits, which is on page 48 of the meeting material, we currently have 968 general anesthesia permit holders. We have 161 medical general anesthesia permit holders, and we have 653 moderate sedation permit holders.
So we have enough evaluators right now? Because I know we approved quite a few in the last meeting.
Yes. Moderate sedation permit holders are required to be evaluated every 6 years. General and medical general anesthesia permit holders are every 5 years. We are always looking to recruit new evaluators. We have
more.
Always. We have some individuals who may do an evaluation once a year, others that happily do them 2, 3, 4 times a month. But most permit holders are in active practice, and to get, you have to get away from your office for at least a half a day. Close your office, to come and assist us. So
Do these evaluators, do they get like a examination, a course, or a calibration?
yes,
Yeah.
in fact, we held a calibration course, Dr. Felsenfeld and I and Bryce, in December of 2025, and we're looking to schedule another one this year.
They have to have it. Like, how often do they have to have the calibration?
There isn't a set time on how often they need to be calibrated. We do also provide them with evaluator manuals that they can review and have handy. But the evaluation itself is set by regulation. There are items that are specified in regulation that have to be on hand for each permit holder. And each evaluator goes out with a checklist and checks those items off, as well as evaluate the individual.
Would you mind telling our group how many people actually attended the calibration? That was impressive.
Oh, gosh.
Approximately.
Now you caught me because I
Sorry.
can't remember the
Several
exact
hundred.
number. It
Several
was
hundred.
close to 300.
It was quite a few. Quite a few people were there,
Yes.
and they asked a lot of good questions at the end. So
Yes.
Where was that?
it was
It
Zoom.
was, yes, it was done via WebEx.
I was home.
I'd be interested to join just to see how you
It's
count.
informational. Yes, it's very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Olney. Any other board member discussion?
Great. Well, anybody can attend it? Anyone can attend this, or it has
We-
to be
yeah.
So the invitation for the calibration course
Yes.
is sent to current permit holders. At this time, it's only open to the current permit
a
holders.
certain time, like you have to have a license, sedation license, or just to have a permit?
A current
Current.
general anesthesia, medical general anesthesia, or moderate sedation permit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just wondering if some board members could attend in the future just to see what it's like.
I think we'd be happy to share the information.
Thank you. Do you have any other?
More questions.
Dr. Chen.
Questions?
Dr. Chan?
Turn on the mic.
This entire arena was precipitated by a high profile media event. And the outcome was SB 501. There was a secondary element that the anesthesia committee has been looking at that where we have not received the second element of a longitudinal study of what the incidences were, what are, it's a story. We're learning to see, are we addressing the issue? Are we addressing it with the things like the evaluators? Are we addressing it with the calibration? Is it changing the marketplace? Is it making it safer? So the anesthesia committee has been having this as a recurring theme, that there was that second element to provide a longitudinal study from Department of Health, the dental director, and we have not seen that after how many years?
Any other board member comments? Dr. Vader-Hobley?
Comment. So because I heard that there's no shortages of evaluators, but in the statistics, I do see like postponed because of no evaluators available. Is this just because the scheduling or?
Yes.
Okay.
That's usually the issue, is the scheduling.
Thank you.
Wow, that's 400 could not schedule for those, but that's, that's interesting.
Surprised.
Wow.
you know.
Okay. Any other board member comments? Put down his name over there. Anybody else on this side? How about public comments?
All right, I know how to turn it on now. Good afternoon, everyone. Evelyn Voutien, speaking on behalf of CSPD. And to reiterate and copy what Board Member Dr. Chan said with the longitudinal study, another topic of interest that came up in our organization is finding some way to have a centralized mandate report system for minimal, moderate sedation, for the different age groups, so that we can have a measurement of these models once implemented, or we are implementing, if they're having effect at all on the outcomes. If we're seeing a decrease in complications and whether it is related to the type of practitioner, the training, what specialties, what we need to do to reinforce public safety, because that is always paramount. And so as an idea, we would just like to present that thought to have some type of centralized reporting system. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Any other public comments? Seeing none, can we open the lines for online public comment, Mr. Moderator?
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Okay, well, thank you, everybody on the committee, Dr. Chan, Dr. Felsenfeld, and Ms. Olney for the report.
Thank you.
We will now move on to agenda item number 11, enforcement review of statistics and trends, page 110. I would like to hand this agenda item over to Chair of the Enforcement Committees, Dr. Ram Vader-Hobley.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm Dr. Ram Vader-Hobley and Chair of the Board Enforcement Committee. I'm joined in the committee by board member Kevin Cheng. The primary role of this committee is to evaluate and support the Dental Board of California Enforcement Unit. This enforcement unit is responsible for protecting the public by investigating complaints, addressing issues related to unlicensed practice, and conduct practice inspections to ensure sanitary conditions are maintained. I recently met with Executive Officer Bryce Doherty and Board Enforcement Unit Chief Ryan Blon-Ian to review the enforcement activities carried out during the last quarter. Mr. Blon-Ian will present a detailed enforcement report, including statistics from the previous quarter, to provide the board with an overview of our recent progress and ongoing initiatives. Thank you, Madam President, and at this time, I would like to recognize Mr. Blon-Ian to present this item.
Good afternoon, board members, President Lorraine. Our statistics are here. You all have had access to them. You'll notice that we're higher in a lot of things. Everybody is scrambling, and we have multiple cases going on with other jurisdictions involved, local police departments, sheriff's offices, other state agencies. Many of them are complex and are a lot more involved than cases were when I started with the board many years ago. Complexity is up, and the amount of time we have to spend in dedication to the cases has also gone up. So I'm here for any questions without getting into specific things we're doing, but it's grown in complexity, like I said, and grown in number as well.
Thank you. Are there any board discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Robert David.
Hey, Chief. So complaint cases received are up year over year, about 40%, it looks like, right? And what's driving it? And is this impacting case aging? And are the staff resources adequate to deal with this significant increase?
I don't know that I would be much of a chief if I said I don't need more people or don't want more people. But yes, our numbers are up. A little bit of it is to be blamed on the phenomenon of, if I take a belief that many people don't share, the response is to report my licensing board that I said X. So a piece of it is that, yes. But I think we have a lot more awareness out there. People being able to go online and file a report is a lot easier than getting a form, filling that form out, mailing it in. It's a lot easier. I think people having access to the ability to complain also makes this a lot bigger. Just because a case isn't reflected that we, investigated it, took disciplinary action or criminal action, doesn't mean that no work was done on these cases. Even the frivolous ones that we get, we have to look at it, take time, and look into it. So it all eats away at the bottom line. So I think a little bit of it is social media kind of thing driven. the ease of filing a complaint now is also part of it. And I think the expectation for everybody when they go to the dentist is everything's going to work perfectly. And most of the time, vast majority of the time, that's the case. But, you know, every once in a while, people don't get the results that they're after and they file complaints for that. So I don't think there's a trend I can really say that is by itself driving it, but I think a number of factors have come together to increase the numbers.
This is Board Member Joni Forge. Are all your positions within your department full so that you have enough officers now to do what you need to do in both regions?
I have one vacant sworn peace officer position in Southern California, and we interviewed for that position, and I think we're working on extending an offer to somebody to fill that position. Once that's filled, all of my allocated positions are occupied.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other board member discussion? Any in-person comments? Please come forward. Hi.
Good afternoon, Sherry Becker, representing the Alliance. If there would be a way to maybe have some statistics on what the complaints were around, especially for the RDAs, which we saw a significant jump in the complaints, just to know we might be able to troubleshoot some things on from the educators' side as well, just to have some idea of infection control, administrative, not sure, but that I think would be helpful for us. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. We'll consider that, of course. Any other in public comments? How about online comments via WebEx? Moderator, please open the lines.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you. Just a note of appreciation also to the chair of the committee and the members and Mr. Blodian. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item number 12A. Diversion Program Report and Statistics on page 114. I'd like to hand this agenda item over to Chair of the Substance Use Awareness Committee, Mr. Dierking.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm Board Member John Dierking. Ms. Olage and I constitute the Board Substance Use Awareness Committee. And the purpose of this committee is to support consumer protection by advancing education, oversight, and policy recommendations related to substance use and abuse, diversion, and safe prescribing practices within the dental profession. Ms. Olage and I have met with Executive Officer Bryce Doherty and board staff to discuss objectives and to understand the board's role in substance use awareness and prevention. We have two topics on this part of the agenda item. First, we will receive a report on the board's diversion program statistics. Then we'll hear a presentation on the implementation and management of the board's diversion program. And at this time, I'd like to recognize the board's Chief of Administration and Compliance, Ms. Paige Regali, to present these items.
Thank you, Mr. Dierking. And good afternoon, President Loreen and board members. Again, my name is Paige Regali. I'm the Chief of Administration and Compliance here at the board, and I will be presenting agenda item 12A, which begins on page 114 of your meeting materials. This memo is information only and just provides an overview of our diversion program statistics, which includes information on participants and any positive drug tests. The next diversion evaluation committee meeting is scheduled for October 14th, 2026. There is no action requested, and this concludes this agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any board member discussion? Mr. David?
I've probably raised this before, but it continues to surprise me how few people participate in this, considering the number of cases that we see that involve drug and alcohol abuse. Any comments?
So I think that our numbers have been, you all have raised this before, that they're a little bit low, and we are focused on outreach. So we have been working pretty hard to focus on outreach, putting information out there. We've recently done brochures. I will go over it a little bit more in the presentation that I have coming up, but it's a voluntary basis or referral through disciplinary action, pretty much.
Okay, so it's not something that we can require someone to go into.
We can require it as part of our disciplinary process. Otherwise, it would be referral only, like through voluntary
'Cause
basis.
I don't see it very often. I don't see that.
There's very specific criteria, which is listed in our disciplinary guidelines, which allows us the authority to require it as a term of probation.
I have a question. Is it open for auxiliaries too?
It is. So it can be dentist or dental auxiliary.
Remember, there's a cost to it.
There is a cost to it. And I don't have the exact cost, but we actually will have the vendor presenting hopefully at an upcoming meeting, and they should be able to provide some more context on that information.
Any other board member discussion?
And thank you very much. So also did notice that the new health group, Premier Health Group, took over last year. So do you have any feedback on their performance or observations or trends?
Specifically with Premier.
Yeah.
is that what-
Yeah.
So at this time, we don't have any feedback. They have come in, they're taking over. It is quite a heavy lift to take over a program of this sort. So we are working with them on a recurring basis. We have monthly meetings with them to kind of go over everything and keep everyone in the loop. So like I said, they should be here at hopefully our November board meeting, and they should be able to provide an overview and presentation to you all on their program.
This is Board Member Forge. If we make it a part of, you saying there's something specific that we have to do to make it part of the probationary requirement in disciplinary action, is that difficult to do in order to be able to, if we decide to do that? Or what specifically we would have to do if we make, that a requirement or one of the requirements or even an option?
So our disciplinary guidelines are in regulation. So we would have to do a regulatory update to our disciplinary guidelines to incorporate any changes. And of course, that would be presented to you all for any comment and feedback as well.
Dr. Forge, any other questions from the board?
No.
Any in-person comments? Please step up. Seeing none. Do you have any comments online through WebEx? Mr. Moderator, please open the line.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Okay, thank you. Hearing none. Is there anything else from the committee? Mr. Deerkin?
The second item.
Second item.
Thank you again, members of the board. I will also be presenting our presenting on our diversion program to provide some context on the purpose and overview of this program. This presentation is included in your meeting packet to refer back to if needed and begins on page 115 of your meeting materials. This is agenda item 12B. I have also linked the dentist and dental auxiliary recovery program brochure on the actual PowerPoint, which was recently updated this year and also available on our website. So I just want to start by giving kind of our mission statement, vision statement, and then our diversion program goal. So the board's mission is to protect and promote the health and safety of consumers of the state of California. Our vision statement is to be the leader in public protection, promotion of oral health, and access to care. In alignment with all of that, our diversion program goal is to be a rehabilitative effort to assist licensees and ensure they can return to practice in a safe manner. Next slide. The diversion program background. So this is a confidential program for the treatment and rehabilitation of the dental professionals who become impaired due to the use of dangerous drugs or alcohol. The program was implemented under Business and Professions Code Section 1695, and it was initiated to focus on the rehabilitation of licensees with a focus on ensuring, again, that they are able to safely return to practice. Next slide. As part of the implementation of the diversion program, the Dental Board of California created the Diversion Evaluation Committee, which is one of our statutory committees. This committee is made up of 6 members who are required to fall into one of the categories listed. So we have 3 positions that are licensed dentists, 2 which are public members, and 1 which is a licensed physician or psychologist. They are all required to have experience or knowledge of evaluation or management of impaired persons, and each member is appointed by the board. This committee is operated under a designated program manager, which is me. The program manager has a primary responsibility to review and evaluate recommendations on the committee. The committee is responsible for a number of things as well, which again are all listed out in the statute and regulations. So the committee evaluates licensees who are requesting admission into the program. They review and designate treatment facilities which licensees may be referred to. They receive and review information concerning licensees in the program. They consider whether or not a licensee in the program is safe to continue practice. And then they perform other duties on the direction of the board or program manager. Next slide. So we also have all of the criteria listed for enrollment into the diversion program. So this is for participants who are seeking admission into the program. So a lot of this is, it's based on whether they are referred through disciplinary action or if they are requesting admission into the program on a voluntary basis, the criteria remains the same. So they have to be a licensed dentist or dental auxiliary. They have to reside in California. They have to have been found to abuse narcotics, dangerous drugs, or alcohol in a manner which may affect their ability to practice safely or competently. They have to have voluntarily requested admission to the program for them to be considered for enrollment outside of us requiring them. They have to agree to undertake any medical and or psychiatric examinations ordered to evaluate the application for participation into the program. They have to cooperate with the program and agree in writing to cooperate and comply with all elements of treatment, which again, the treatment plan is designed by the Diversion Evaluation Committee. And then they could not have been convicted of a crime involving the sale or of narcotics or dangerous drugs. All of the criteria listed here is in regulations. So the California Code of Regulations, section 1020.1, A through H. Next slide, please. The diversion program accepts referrals on a voluntary basis, and licensees can also be referred to the program by the board or through the formal disciplinary process. Any licensed dental professional in California who's experiencing an alcohol or drug dependency problem can seek assistance and apply for admission into the program by calling the 1-800 number. This is also available on our website. This is a toll-free number and it is 24 hours a day. So they do have people there who field the phone calls and specialize in the intake and information provided to the patients or licensees seeking help right away. The board does not allow licensees to enroll in the program in lieu of formal discipline. So they cannot request to be part of the diversion program to avoid disciplinary action being taken against their license. And then once a dental professional contacts the program, arrangements will be made for a confidential evaluation by a licensed professional. After the evaluation, the individual will meet with the board's Diversion Evaluation Committee for formal acceptance into the program. Next slide, please. An overview of the program. So the dental board contracts with Premier Health, who's our current vendor, to oversee various aspects of the rehabilitation of the licensees enrolled in this program. Premier Health provides a clinical case manager to each licensee, and they're the ones who personally oversee the treatment plans, which is developed by the committee and program manager. Quarterly meetings are held with the licensees, the committee, the program manager, and the clinical case manager from Premier Health to review progress and evaluate treatment plans. So it is an ongoing effort. We do evaluate them at least twice a year to look at their treatment plan, make sure that everything is running smoothly, and require anything else if needed, just to make sure that the rehabilitative efforts are ongoing. Premier Health assists with the following services. They provide confidential consultation with professionals in the field of substance use disorders. They have intervention services, assessment of treatment needs, and referral to appropriate resources, assistance in the development of a recovery plan, monitoring of the compliance of that recovery plan, and encouragement and peer support. Next slide. As I mentioned earlier, we've been really focused on outreach for participants and for our diversion program. So in the last year, the board has worked with other healing arts boards and our vendor to focus on outreach. Below are some of the changes we have made and things we are participating in to stay connected and increase our outreach to the licensing population. We attend monthly meetings with Premier Health Group and other DCA boards and bureaus to go over statistics, trends, and changes with the program. We have updated our website in the last few years to ensure information is accurate and straightforward. We've created an updated brochure for licensees and added it to our website. We attend quarterly meetings related to outreach to brainstorm ideas and focus on support and rehabilitation. And again, this is a DCA-wide effort with the boards and bureaus. We are having Premier Health Group attend our November board meeting to give a presentation, and we will have personal testimony from a previous participant in the program. And then we do meet with the board-created Substance Use Awareness Committee to discuss ideas related to education and initiatives for substance use prevention. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions or comments.
Thank you, Ms. Rogali. Do we have any board member discussion? Mr. David?
So you had mentioned that our current probationary guidelines don't provide this as an option. Is that right?
No, they do. So our disciplinary guidelines have it as an optional term.
You said that we'd need to update our regulations in order to.
So the disciplinary guidelines are a regulatory document. So it is a regulation. So if we wanted to make any updates to the disciplinary guidelines, it would need to be done through updates to obviously the regulation, which would be an overhaul and a project that we would work on. But I'm saying in regards to how we refer them. So there's very specific criteria in our disciplinary guidelines, which basically tells us what our terms are for each violation of the Dental Practice Act. So it's listed out by the code section, and then it gives the violation and it gives proposed terms and optional terms. So the way that it works is that the diversion program is part of it's not part of our standard terms. So if we want to refer someone to a diversion, we have to see them and define them as a substance abusing licensee, which is very specific criteria. And the model that they follow is a little bit different than our regular standard terms.
Okay, it just seems like it'd be nice to add this as one of our options for probation. There's so few in it. It just doesn't seem like it comes up.
Right. So we don't have a high pool of participants, but there's also a lot of other options. And again, we are complaint based. So the only licensees facing substance abuse issues that come to our attention are through the complaint process. So either through convictions, through board complaints from, staff, peers, consumers, whoever. And we don't go out and just do, pick people or do drop-in investigations on them to determine if they're substance abusing. There are other resources also that a lot of licensees go through and different programs where they might not ever be brought to our attention if they're not being referred to us or given the information, which is why we're focusing a lot on outreach to try to hope to get a lot more participants focused on the program that we offer.
I'm not talking about outreach to your general dentist. I'm talking about people who've maybe had significant and multiple problems with drug and alcohol abuse. It just seems like this is something that should be an option, and we never see it. It's never recommended. And I'll leave it at that.
Dr. Felsenfeld?
I have another question, a little confusion, and maybe I should wait till November to hear from Premier as to what they do. You have a supervising group, a diversion committee of the 3 dentists, two public members, and a psychologist or a physician. And I got the impression initially that they do all the planning, but then I see that you send them to Premier and Premier works them up and who actually makes the plan? Do they do it and bring it up to an administrative body to approve it in some way, or should I wait till November?
No, so the way that it works is that if they're going on a referral basis, then they reach out to Premier through the 1-800 number. They ask about the services, and then Premier does an intake with them. They reach out to us, specifically me, and then we work through intaking them, and then they come to a quarterly meeting for the Diversion Evaluation Committee. And then the committee will go through, look at all of the background, the information that was provided to Premier, all of the intake documents, and the committee will determine a treatment plan. So for people, licensees coming on a voluntary basis, they then have the option to say, yes, I want to go through with this after learning it and understanding what the treatment consists of, or they would say, or they just don't go through with the program. If they're going from a disciplinary referral, so we're requiring it of them, which is going to be through probation, then they would do the same thing. They intake through Premier. Premier then will just bring them to the next quarterly board meeting after they've completed all of their intake documents. They come to the board meeting, and our group, our Diversion Evaluation Committee, is the one who goes through and does an actual treatment plan. So once the treatment plan is in place for either the voluntary referral or the disciplinary referral, Premier is the one who oversees compliance with the treatment plan. So they have clinical case managers, which mostly are registered nurses, and they go through, obviously they have background in substance use disorder as well. So they would go through, and they're the ones who oversee them on a weekly basis. So they do the check-ins with them on a weekly basis. They go through and have the different meetings with them. They ensure that they're doing their drug test properly, and they reach out to me if there's any issues with them, and then we bring it to the next committee meeting when we have one. So our actual committee, which it does say public members, but they're all licensed professionals, they are the ones who go through and reevaluate the treatment plan and implement, or will initiate the treatment plan for all of our referrals.
Okay.
Any
Thank you.
any other comments? from the board?
This is Board Member Forge again. Okay, so I understand what you're
Oh.
saying about that, according to the Dental Practice Act and the regulatory, that when we're doing a disciplinary act, there's a certain regulatory standard, I guess, that we have to abide by, and that it has to be overhauled. And so can't that standard that you're talking about, that option standard, can it be included as a part of that standard that you're talking about as an option? That standard be overhauled? Because I think the hard part, I think we're all struggling with, is the disconnect that this diversion program has low numbers, but there's a high number of disciplinary cases where there's substance abuse involved. And it would be great if a lot of these individuals could get into this program and be able to utilize this program. I know that's what I'm struggling with in these cases. So I'm trying to figure out how this can be fixed so that this becomes an option that's easy to assess for us.
I can respond if you like.
Sure.
It might save you a headache. So basically, in the disciplinary guidelines, I was just sorry, Ileana Butu, board's temporary and intermittent legal counsel. So I'm looking at the board's disciplinary guidelines to see where it is that the diversion program is an optional condition, and it's mostly related to when the accusation is based on, or when the discipline is based on, unlawfully using controlled substance or dangerous drugs. So it is, I found at least 3 or 4 times where it is an optional condition. So when you guys get proposed decisions or any kind of enforcement matter in closed session, if it has something to do with drugs, alcohol, substance abuse, unlawfully prescribing, whatever, then this is an option. You guys just have to choose it. So, I don't know. I haven't looked at a lot of your disciplines, so I don't know what it looks like. But in closed session, definitely speak to the board counsel when you have these cases, and they can help walk you through what conditions are available that you can order.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Forge. Mr. David?
So just to follow up, I think I'm getting a sense that there's unanimity on this issue, that the board would like to have more options. And so, because when we're presented things, a lot of them are negotiated, right? And you're the negotiator. And so I guess that we'd like this to be on the table and something that is proposed, that we don't have to object to and then have a closed session and, and go through all the rigmarole. So
Yes.
anyway, okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Bryce Doherty, Executive Officer. I think what I'm hearing and what we're hearing, just to summarize, is that was really the whole purpose of providing the presentation today on the purpose and the overview of the program. So board staff heard you, and I think in conjunction with the diversion committee led by Mr. Deer King, and what we're teeing up for the November board meeting by having the vendor themselves come and make a presentation where we don't want to speak on their behalf, but the role that they play in our program, coupled with actually a participant who participated in the program, I think that would be an outstanding opportunity to ask that participant, how they found the program, what their experience was, and like board counsel said, it can be a tool going forward for the board. So that was the purpose of today, and we'll elucidate it more in November, was to get to those very items.
Does that clear it up for you, Mr. David? Okay, anybody else want to speak on behalf of the board? Any in public comments? Seeing none, please open the WebEx, Mr. Moderator, Mr. Moderator, for any online public comments.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, moderator. Okay, we will now move on. Thank you, Ms. Regali, and thank you, Mr. Deer King, for the presentation. Appreciate it. Look forward to November. So our next agenda item is number 12B, is the president, no, I'm sorry. That is? No. Our next agenda item is agenda item 13, report from the American Association of Dental Boards, AADB, page 126. I will ask the American Association of Dental Boards representative Kimber Cobb to make her presentation on this agenda item. Ms. Cobb is currently the executive director of the American Association of Dental Boards, or AADB, a national association founded in 1886, whose mission is to support state dental boards in their mission to protect the public. The Dental Board of California is a proud member of the AADB. Ms. Cobb possesses significant experience in clinical evaluation, regulation, and licensure of the dental profession. For the last 22 years, she has served in a variety of test development, test agency, and regulatory leadership capacities. As a licensed dental hygienist and a graduate of the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, Ms. Cobb's career also includes a substantial experience in both private practice and as a dental hygiene educator. In 2004, she participated in a national project to develop a uniform clinical licensure examination for the profession of dentistry. She was elected chair of the American Board of Dental Examiners Dental Hygiene Examination Committee in 2006 and served until 2009. She has also served on the ADEX Board of Directors. On behalf of the Dental Board of California, welcome, Ms. Cobb, and we look forward to your report.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today, and it's been wonderful to collaborate with your board and communicate frequently with both Dr. Chan and Dr. Lorenz. So thank you for your time today. Let's get started. Let's see if I can get this to work. For some reason, there we go. So this is just our mission statement and information about who we are. As Dr. Lorenz mentioned, we have been in existence for 143 years. And our mission is to support you all as dental board members. We very much appreciate your dedication to the the profession. And so we exist to support you all in your mission to prepare the public. One of our highlights that's upcoming, and I think the ADEX representatives mentioned it, is our Dental Testing and Regulatory Summit. AADB participates in that annually. The next meeting is October 17th and 18th. That's our annual meeting. And specifically, we get a lot of great feedback. The last 3 years or so, we have kind of targeted or focused some of our continuing education sessions. And this year it will be on sedation and anesthesia. We will have a presentation of a gentleman who works quite a bit with the pediatric dental association. And then we'll do a panel discussion that gives a variety of perspectives on this subject. Everybody from dental anesthesiologists to risk management. We're working on a couple of other panelists, so we're very excited. The other thing I'd like to let you know about this meeting is one of the highlights is there's a state dental board attorney. They have a roundtable each year, and on day 2 they end up giving an update. So that's depending on the subject and our focus. That's always a highlight, I think, for a lot of attendees. Also, I wanted to let you know that we do annually have what's called our board member, typically new, although we have a lot of sitting board members attended, but it's a board member certification course that is kind of the handbook on how to basically function as a board member. So for those of you who are new or it's your first time on a board, it's a really helpful course that kind of outlines some of the expectations and the legalities of sitting on a board. So those are some of the highlights that you can look forward to at the annual meeting. We also have what's called our dental clearinghouse, and that is a discipline repository that several different boards across the country utilize. Practitioners can also self-query. So it's boards will upload their disciplinary cases, and it's a great way for dental boards to check if they have a licensee applicant to see if there's any history of issues with their license. So that was developed back in 1988, and we've revamped things during my tenure as executive director. We have some more enhancements we're working on currently, but and this is the information that's on our website at aadbdentalboards.org, and it just gives you the history of it and how it functions. So it's a very valuable resource, and as I mentioned, several states nationally do utilize it. We're also very excited. We just went through a huge overhaul. We not only manage and provide continuing education as an association, but we accredit these courses too. We have an entire committee that focuses solely on the continuing education courses and reviews the content and the syllabus to be sure that it is in keeping with continuing education requirements within dentistry and dental hygiene. We're very excited. We just overhauled the website and its functionality, and we can now provide portals to not only state dental boards, but practitioners who want to track their continuing education hours, and then also the course providers have access. So we track and manage and keep up with all that data and statistics, and be happy to provide that report. But this is really just hot off the press in the last few weeks. So we're very excited about its functionality and plan to continue to enhance and expand that option. So it is available to you all as a board, as your licensing applicants. We've recently overhauled our newsletter as well. So you can look for it usually towards the end of each month. And we just try to provide dental or dental hygiene related articles that are more specific to dental regulation rather than just scientific. So there's a lot of our focus at mid-year meeting was the unlicensed practice of dentistry. So we look for articles like that, or trends in sedation and anesthesia and other regulatory options. So it's been a great resource these last few months. I'll just touch briefly on the compacts. I know, as you all may be aware, there are 2 dental licensure compacts that have been in existence. As far as a little history, I was one of several in the testing and regulatory arena that tried to sit down with the DDH compact, which is developed by CSG and initially the ADA, and didn't get very far. So a lot of our stakeholders in regulation, state board, executive directors, attorneys, investigators, we all came together and wrote the AADB version, which basically almost 100% mirrors the medical licensure compact. It upholds the licensure model and standards that have existed in dentistry for over 100 years. So we are currently with some of the changes that were going on nationally referred to with the DeLosky and ADEX. There are conversations going on that hopefully we can continue to come together amongst the various national associations that support dentistry. And if you want more information about the compacts and the differences between them, that's the website there. We've put a lot of fact sheets together to provide additional information. So it is a definitely still an emerging situation, and we'll be happy to keep you posted as things evolve. Oh dear. This is just additional information. We have now 2 member states that have joined the compact, Louisiana and Mississippi, and then our language is pending in about 3 others currently, Washington, D.C., Pennsylvania, and some others. So we're excited. We need 5 states to activate the compact and look forward to having more of them join. So this is basically the premise of our compact. It provides portability and expedited licensure. It does continue to protect the public by upholding the licensure standards. There's been some concern about the sovereignty and the ability of state boards to actually discipline practitioners from a remote state under the privilege version. So by maintaining a licensure that creates and maintains the authority of state dental boards. And then the fees will be ultimately charged to the practitioner and not state dental boards. That's our website. And that's all I have. This is my contact information. You're welcome to reach out, and then you also have our website there. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Cobb. Do you have any questions, board?
We members, this is Robert David. Are we members of this organization? And
Yeah,
I've never gotten any emails or
we
anything.
just joined. Yeah, I was also going to ask the question, as members, what do we receive emails? Is it go directly to the board, executive director? Does it come to us?
It does. If you're an actual member, or if you've paid the state board fee, then usually that would go to the executive director for distribution. If any of you are interested in getting directly on our email list, we can certainly do that. I can work with Bryce and get you those direct emails. We send them out pretty frequently. As I said, the newsletter goes out once a month or so, and you'll get notices of meetings. And we are planning in the next year to have several CE sessions virtually and provide additional courses that way as well.
And access to the website, you mentioned that, is it individual also by board, or or only the executive director? How does that work?
No, you can join if you're a member of the board. You can go to the website and sign up, and that will also give you access directly to any resources there and email.
Do we have?
And if you have any questions,
how does it work?
I'm
Oh,
sorry?
okay. Do we provide the names to Mr. Doherty and he provides it to you, or how should we do this?
That's fine. That's fine. Or any one of you can reach out to me directly.
Individually?
We'll
Okay.
get you on that list.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for board members? Okay, I'm looking forward to working more with you and attending your meetings.
It's been
no,
great.
Next year, it's going to be in San Diego. We might join the meeting
be
in
great.
ADEX next year.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. We are going to have some, for those of you who can't travel, I know California kind of limits that, but we're going to be having some virtual caucuses prior to the meeting. Those will be on our website. We have an investigator group, we have a dental hygiene group, caucus, and then we have an administrators group for the executive directors and legal counsel, et cetera. So the board attorney roundtable meets monthly, I believe, and also has their meeting at our annual meeting. So for those of you who can't travel, we're trying to provide a chance to interact and network at a level that, you know, can be done virtually. So we'd love to have you attend. And even though you don't wear one of those hats, you're welcome to sit in and kind of hear what's going on nationally.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
I do have a question,
Mr.
Madam,
Deerkin?
if I may. Ms. Cobb, thank you very much for the presentation. What would be helpful for me as a public member would be perhaps access to some resources if they're available, especially in the areas of policy development towards with an eye towards consumer protection. Do you have any such support for state boards?
Well, we do. We've worked a lot with boards and providing resources on updating rules and statute and language. And we have experts that have either been historic or long-term members of state dental boards. So yeah, depending on the specificity of the subject, we've done that a lot over the years. So we'd be happy to assist with that. I'll get questions. I know I worked with Dr. Tran on some items when he was chair of the California board. So yes, whatever you all might need, we can definitely provide those resources or point you in the right direction.
And just to follow up, if I may, how about documents or resources that relate to, for example, emerging trends within dental practice?
We have a lot of presentations. We don't necessarily keep specific documents on file, but a lot of the presentations from our annual meeting and sometimes the caucus information, you know, I can forward those types of reports that keeps you all apprised of what's happening nationally. I think our targeted or focused CE sessions have really assisted with that. A couple of years ago, we did one on some substance abuse disorder and the resources within the profession to assist with that. We've done cosmetic dentistry with Botox and fillers and things like that to better understand the trends that are emerging there. So depending on the subject or whatever you all are as a board or individually are focused on, we can certainly provide those resources.
I think such resources would be very helpful. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Deerkin. Any other board comments, questions? Any in public comments on this agenda item? No? Seeing none, do we have, Mr. Moderator, do we have any online public comments? Please turn on the WebEx.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen, or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and thank you again, Ms. Cobb. I really appreciate it.
All right,
Looking
hope you'll
forward
have
to
a great
learning
rest
more.
of your meeting. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Now we're moving on to agenda item number 14, presentation on initiatives to increase access to dental care, California Department of Health Services, DHCS, Smile, California, on page 139. I would like to hand this agenda item over to Chair of Access to Care, Dr. Yogita Thakur.
Thank you, Dr. Lorraine. I am Dr. Yogita Thakur and also the chair of the board Access to Care Committee. I, along with board member Medina, represent this committee. We've met with our executive officer, Bryce, over several occasions to discuss and brainstorm on committee deliverables and forthcoming proposed recommendations to the board and how best we can help address access to care crisis in California. In doing so, the board has enjoyed presentations on this topic at every board meeting starting in November 2025. We started with HCI, the Department of Healthcare Access and Information, for presentations in November and February of this year. We also had presentations by the California Dental Association in May 2026. Today, we continue with our speaker series and are pleased to be joined by the California Department of Healthcare Services, Smile California. Dana Durham, who is the chief of the Medi-Cal Dental Services Division within the Department of Healthcare Services, commonly known as DHCS. Ms. Durham has full management responsibility for administering the Medi-Cal Dental Services Program, which includes the dental fee-for-service and dental managed care, and provides dental services to over 14 million Californians. Prior to joining the Medi-Cal Dental Services Program, Ms. Durham had over 10 years of administrative and managerial experience within DHCS in physical health for Medi-Cal managed care. She has extensive experience and knowledge working with healthcare policy planning, development, and implementation. She has over 16 years of experience serving Californians as a public servant and additional over 10 years of experience working in the healthcare industry. Welcome, Ms. Durham, and please proceed with your presentation.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here and get to talk to you about Smile California. I also want to introduce Lisa Nguyen. She is the medical director for our Smile California site, our dental director, and does a great job making sure that we're making dental as accessible as possible. We do call our Medicaid product Smile California to make it more accessible. You'll see there's an agenda up. We're going to cover these topics today just to kind of give you an idea of what we offer. I want to start by the next slide and talk to you a little bit about Smile California overall. We started Smile California in 2018, and it's designed to really assist members and providers to make the most out of the dental benefit. How do we make dental more accessible to members? How do we make it more friendly to providers? Those are what we're trying to address. It's an integral part of Medi-Cal Dental's member and provider outreach, and really our aim is to improve access overall to Medi-Cal Dental members. And I'm sure y'all know this, but I'm just going to say just Medi-Cal is our Medicaid product for the state of California. Every year, what we do, we evolve our campaign. We look at the market overall, and we look at research, collaborate with others, and do what we can to be timely on what's happening for members and people who are trying to access care. We message and do education, which includes addressing known barriers, such as what can a member get? What are the benefits they're able to get covered? What's the connection between oral health and overall physical health? What access to dental benefits can someone get? Do you need help finding a specialist? Do you need non-medical transportation? Do you have some language barriers that we can help with? And how do we combat prior traumatic experiences for someone who may be anxious about going to a dentist? The campaign, we use various communication channels really to reach members. We'll do things such as do flyers, we do videos, we'll do social media campaigns, and just other things to get the message out that Medi-Cal Dental is a benefit that people have the right to. So what you'll see on the screen is just a really quick snapshot of the content available on Smile California. And the website really is a hub for everything we'll share today, bringing together resources for members, their families, schools, and community partners. So I'm just going to invite you to look at the website overall, but we'll go into it a little bit more. And as we go to the next slide, just want to say that we have a really wide range of oral health materials. As I said, it includes flyers, brochures, information graphics, their activity sheets. As we go back to school, we do coloring books and things for kids. We have photo novellas, and all are focused on topics like preventative care. How do you brush your teeth? How do you what's the importance of fluoride and how would it be presented to you if it was? What are molar sealants? If you're pregnant, how do you access care? What is there for oral health in toddlers? If you're a senior, what kind of dental care do you need and what's available? It's just whetting your appetite for kind of the things we cover. The materials are available in multiple languages to support diverse communities, and they can be downloaded and shared with families, schools, and partner organizations. You'll find, as I said, the kids' activities, teaching tools, and materials tailored for caregivers, older adults, pregnant individuals, and youth. And there are also member bulletins that are posted monthly to share updates and specific promotional efforts, such as scheduled dental visits throughout the state, or Oral Health Month, and Kindergarten Oral Health Assessment. I'll have you go to the next slide. We offer easy to understand YouTube videos, and those are really designed to help members visually learn about their Medi-Cal dental benefits and support good oral health habits. They cover topics such as understanding your dental benefits, how to use resources that are on the website. How do you find a dentist if you're trying to navigate the website? They're video versions of our outreach materials, and they're videos in multiple languages. And those really kind of help get the message out, and we hope to make things more accessible. And on our next slide, for our most recent editions, we created a series of videos on oral health education. The collection of oral health education videos are designed to help Medi-Cal members, providers, and partners understand their dental benefits and learn simple ways to protect their smiles. These short, easy-to-follow videos cover things such as how Medi-Cal dental benefits work, what to do if you have a dental emergency, preventative care for children and teens, healthy brushing and eating habits, and how to support individuals with special needs. And as you can find all that on our website. On the next slide, I'm going to show you a little bit about finding a dental home, because that becomes something that's really important. We work really hard to make sure that it's easy to find a dentist that accepts Medi-Cal. And so if someone goes to the smilecalifornia.org website, clicks on the Find a Dentist button, then clicks on the Medi-Cal Dental Provider Directory search, you can search by a provider's name, select your preferred dentist distance from your city or county or zip code, identify a specialty, say you need an oral surgeon or a general practitioner, and choose your preferred language from the list. And now that includes American Sign Language too, which we felt was very important. You can narrow that search by saying, I only want providers who are accepting new patients, or I only want providers who are culturally competent, or show me providers who offer teledentistry. So we're continuing to evolve that website, and we'll continue to make improvements to it. And if anyone has any suggestions, we're always open to how to make it easier to find a dentist. Families can get extra support if they need them through our care coordination. We are the first state in the nation who has care coordination for fee-for-service dentistry, which we're really excited about. And Dr. Nguyen's done a great job really kind of setting that up and working with people. We have a care coordination form that can be used by providers as well as members, and they just say, I need extra help. I've got more going on. I'm not being able to find a dentist. I have some special healthcare needs or something else is happening. I might need transportation. Help me get to where I need to get to. And so they'll speak with a representative who will help coordinate their care. If they have trouble finding a specialist, we'll work to help them find a specialist. And so we're really proud that we've been able to do that. That form can be filled out by a dental provider, a physician, a registered dental hygienist, or even the member themselves or their authorized representative. So we're just doing what we can to make dental more accessible. Services, again, can be scheduling an appointment, locating a dentist, accessing the interpreter services if you need it, or arranging for transportation. So just trying to do everything we can to make dental more accessible. And on the next slide, just a little bit more, we also offer teledentistry. And teledentistry is a modality by which members may connect with dental providers remotely. And you kind of going, why teledentistry? Well, the reason we feel like that's important is because people don't know where to go when they have a dental emergency. And so if they have a dental emergency, we've found that teledentistry can help people not go to an emergency room, but can give them different options. And so how do you get quick advice for a dental problem you may have? How do you get help finding a dental home? How do you get care faster and prevent dental problems from becoming emergencies? And that's why we have kind of leveraged teledentistry to make sure that we can help people and get them care at the right place at the right time. Providers who offer teledentistry can be found using that Find a Dentist tool. And we also, besides just the care management, we offer case management as well. And that connects members who have special healthcare needs with dentists who specialize in those special healthcare needs. They're assigned a specific person, and that person walks them through all of their needs and helps coordinate with. They might have an enhanced care management provider. They'll coordinate with the Department of Developmental Services, just anywhere that has places that the individual touches that you can make the experience easier for them is the point of our dental case management. You may have a mental, physical, or behavioral disability, and it's just to really coordinate that complex treatment at a really deep level. And a referral to that can be made by a dentist, a doctor, caseworker, or other healthcare professional, as well as your care coordinator through DDS. And we work really hard to make sure that that is accessible to individuals. And next, just to talk a little bit about on the next slide about our transportation services. We offer transportation services to and from appointments at no cost to individuals. There are two types of transportation that are available. One is non-medical transportation, and that is just transportation by a public or private vehicle for members who don't have another way to get there, right? And the second one is non-emergency medical transportation, and that can be transportation by an ambulance, a wheelchair van, a litter van, or something else that can help get members safely to and from their appointment. We wish we had more dentists, so if you have more dentists that we can help get involved, we want to. But I say that because sometimes you do have to go a ways to get to a dental visit in Medi-Cal. If you have to go for a longer period of time and you have to go further, we will support an overnight stay if it's needed, and that will be covered as part of that transportation. Meals will be covered as well as the transportation overall if we're having to go further to find a dentist. And we really want to make sure that there are no out-of-pocket cost to our members. And so we work really hard on that. And on the next slide, just a little bit more about transportation services. Members have a few ways to get help. They can call our customer service center, and the number is 1-800-322-6384, and you're not going to remember that, but it's on the slides and it's on the website. Or you can use the care coordination referral form, which really helps us kind of get the right person to help in general. And we also accept email. And the goal is just to make it where there's no wrong door. And if someone needs help, they can get the help they need. On the next slide, I want to talk a little bit about if you're a dentist, how we help, because we feel like that's really important too. Really make sure that we make Medi-Cal Dental as accessible for our providers as possible. We all know that we don't pay as much as I wish we did in Medi-Cal Dental, but we have wonderful providers who really care about our members. And so our goal is to make that easier. And for that reason, we have an outreach team that really works with providers when they have concerns. And the outreach team wants to give resources, they'll do training, and they'll do any information that's needed to make sure either enrolling or questions that someone may have about Medi-Cal are answered. And so you'll see on the next slide, I have gone ahead on the slides, I think. Yeah. This is a map, and we have a local representative that supports the needs for people who have them. Our outreach map has contact information for a representative who knows the area and can help kind of navigate the area. And they live in the area, can help answer questions, and really serve as a resource for how Medi-Cal can work with the dentist needs or a dental hygienist needs. The tool makes it easy for providers, or easier, probably not easy, nothing's easy in Medi-Cal, but easier for providers and community partners to connect with that local representative and see how we can support you. We offer the on-site training if it's needed, and we'll give education and materials. On the next slide, we have a list of the representatives for the various areas. And they, as I said, they work in that area, live in that area, and will do training as needed and offer any support or answer questions. Sometimes bureaucracies are hard, right? And how do you navigate enrolling? Do you have questions? They'll help. And that's kind of what we work really hard to have done. They'll help answer questions overall and do what we can to help with that. Now, we have started a new kind of way of having providers work with us. There's some that just don't want to take every member, but they'll take members by referral only. So if you don't want to be accessible to every Medi-Cal member, but you want some that are referred, then we have a referral only program that our outreach representatives will help you enroll in. So that if we've got someone who really needs some help, we'll contact you and go, can you take this person? And then if you're agreeable to that, they'll help you enroll in that. We also have on the next slide information about events that we have. We like hosting events with our communities. And I've been to a few of those. They're kind of fun. We have these little well, they're not little, they're huge toothbrushes that they take, and the kids or others will hold them, and it kind of helps people know about the importance of dental care overall, and advertises that dental is something you need to pay attention to. And we'll often invite media to those events. We'll take care of it, inviting media, and really do everything we can to galvanize kind of the community awareness. So if that's something anyone is interested in, we really like partnering doing that. Our team connects with you, the person, and goes, how can we help you? How can we make this where more people know about dental in your area, and what can we do to support that? Partnering with us helps ensure families receive clear, consistent information and that they're supported as they're trying to get access care. And one of the things on the next slide that I'm really proud that we do some are mobile dental events. We really try, especially in our rural communities, to bring care directly to individuals. And we want to ensure that families have access to care where resources are just limited. We all know there are not enough dentists in the state. So how do we take care to where people need it? And so we use our mobile dental vans to do that. We provide at no cost during those mobile van events things such as exams, x-rays, cleaning, sealants, and sometimes extractions even. Our spring and summer 2026 event kicked off in April, and we have had events in San Benito, Mariposa, Del Norte, Plumas, and Lassen counties, with our final visit scheduled up at this point is in Glen in October. So we're really excited about that. We do hope to add more events this year. We, as everyone, struggle a little bit with funding, so we look for partners to help us, but we really think it does a good job of helping get people the care they need. If you want a mobile event, we would love to partner with you and figure out how we can do that. And then another, on the next slide, one of the things we also try to do with others is do co-branding. So with counties or others who are working on reaching our members, we want to co-brand with them, and they can work with us to use the Smile California logo. And we'll work on social media posts through our department as well as through Smile California. We'll do videos and other materials, and the co-branded items display the organization's logo, like we worked with San Benito County and used their logo as well as our logo on things to really make sure that everyone who's involved is mentioned. The option is available for a range of organizations. That includes schools, health departments, and community-based organizations. Of course, we love to co-sponsor them with funding. Anytime we can partner with funding, we try to. And it's pretty easy to submit a request for that. And then next, just want to, we do give alerts on our Smile California website, and you can subscribe to see those alerts on the next slide. And it stays in touch really in general. It gives you updates, free resources, and campaign information will go directly to your inbox. Signing up, we hope, is really easy, and you just have to scan the QR code, and it allows you to subscribe fairly easily. And as I wrap up, I just want to make sure that you know where to go if you have questions or you're looking for additional support. Smile California is a great place to start. It brings information about benefits, preventive care, school readiness resources, and tools to help. And if you're looking for anything, if we don't have it, we will work with someone to find it, because we appreciate that you care for our members and want to make that easier instead of more difficult. But really appreciate the ability to talk to you today.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I did have a question. I might have missed something. This is Dr. Larin, board president. Who's the member? Is that somebody that signs up with you? Is it a Medi-Cal?
It's a Medi-Cal member. We call them members. Someone who,
That's enrolled in Medi-Cal can
Yeah.
be a member.
yes,
They're the only ones?
yes.
But do you have to register?
Well, so when you get Medi-Cal through your county or Medicaid through your county, you are eligible to have dental benefits as well as health benefits. And so you're automatically enrolled. And after talking with people who are enrolled in Medi-Cal, they preferred to be called members instead of beneficiaries. And so we have switched to that way of talking about the individuals who receive Medi-Cal benefits.
And how about the participating dentists? Do they have to enroll, or do they have to be participants of Medi-Cal, or do you automatically also include them, or how does?
Well, so if you are a Medi-Cal provider, of course, we want you to be, right? We want you to be, and we'll help anyone though. If you just have questions, we certainly will answer any questions, even if you're not an enrolled provider, because we want to be a resource. And I will say we do have a law that we're coming into compliance with, which makes it where everyone who offers Medi-Cal services has to be enrolled either as a provider or an ORP, which is ordering, rendering, and prescribing provider. And that's a federal law that we're coming into, that has been in the law since the 90s, but we're coming into compliance with it, and we'll be in full compliance by sometime in 2027. I'm not sure of that date yet, but right now we're working towards that. You don't have to be a provider to get help, but we certainly are going to encourage you, if you're a dentist or a dental hygienist, to become a provider and want to know how we can make that easy.
Hi, this is Member Yu, and then I practice in Milpitas and also in San Francisco. I don't see too many dentists that I know really take a Medicare. And maybe NAMS, they probably will take it. So will that be a problem for your organization that so few dentists want to take Medicare?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. It is a problem. I mean, our reimbursement rates aren't as high as we would like them to be, which is one of the reasons we work so hard to help dentists as much as we can to make it easier. We do still have Prop 56. We thought that might have been going away, but it's still active. But we do everything we can to make it easier for dentists to offer care. But I am aware that it is, our reimbursement rates aren't great. And so we do what we can to make it easier.
Yeah, I can foresee that the difficulties will increase because of the basic requirement, basic salary has been raising everywhere in California. And so the overhead of each office will be a lot higher than before. So the chances they could afford to take Medicare will be less and less.
Yeah, I mean, I think we understand that. One of the things we've been asked to do by the legislature this year is to look at our rates overall, and that is a different area that does that. But I know that we're working with the legislature to review that and look at it overall.
Okay.
Thank you.
The other board, Ms. Medina?
Well, it's not a non-Medi-Cal provider. It's one that says, I don't want to be listed publicly. You would be a provider who has to go through the enrollment process, but to be one who takes Medi-Cal but isn't totally known, it will keep you from being overwhelmed by getting phone calls. And the reason we have to do that is because we get a match from the federal government that matches our state budget. And to have that match, you have to be an enrolled provider. So we cannot have providers that aren't enrolled. Thank you for the question.
This is Board Member Forge. I have a question about transportation.
Let me answer this question and then I'll answer the question about.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
One person at a time, please. Also, remember to say your name before you have a question. One person at a time, please raise your little blue.
Board Member Medina. So this, the other question is regarding your website. Do you have information in terms of what services are most accessed on your website?
We do, and it's just, that's what we have concentrated the videos on and other things. There's information about, well, there are two ways you can access information. If you're asking about what are the services we give the most, We have that on our DHCS website more than Smile California. And we have it about our managed care plans, which are in Sacramento and LA counties. But we do take that and it informs the way we do materials that are outreach. So we do a lot of things about cleaning and about fluoride and sealants and other things that are more common. Also about dentures. We do those so that people can know what those procedures may look like because some people are scared of the dentist. And so trying to take away that anxiety and at least make it a little bit more accessible is kind of the goal in some of those videos. So yes, in both ways, we have that information available. Thanks for the question.
We have a few more questions here, one at a time. Mr. David?
I'm a public member, so these questions might be a little simpleton, but what percentage of dental visits are paid by Medi-Cal?
Overall, I don't know. I'm sorry.
And of those visits, is it a high percentage at FQHCs or what?
We do have a significant number of FQHCs that are dental providers, and we also have a significant number of Indian health facilities that are dental providers. So I would say I can't give you an exact percentage, but I will say it's pretty high in what we have overall.
Okay, and then of the total number of licensed dentists in California, what percentage are participating in Medi-Cal in one shape or?
Not enough. I don't know. Do you happen to know? I don't get it back. We can get back to you with that and we'll follow up with that information. Thank you for that question.
Right after Dr. Vader-Hobley, Dr. Forge, you'll speak, okay?
And thank you very much. You talked about an outreach coordinator. Has this outreach coordinator reached out to dental schools?
Yes, and I will tell you, we work really closely with our dental schools. They don't have to submit either, and I'm not sure what terminology y'all use, but if you're working with the plan, sometimes it's known as prior authorization, and with our fee-for-service, it's known as treatment authorization. But what we do with our dental schools is we don't make them ask for prior authorization in the same way because we know that they've got someone there and they want to do treatment right then. So our Gainwell, our vendor, goes out and they do education. And so they'll teach them what a procedure looks like that needs that sort of care. We will audit afterwards to make sure there's no abuse in that system, but we do everything we can to take away the barriers that could be there for a dental school to offer care. We call it our university billing program, but we work with every dental school in California.
So they are in the system.
They are. I will say one of my concerns overall, and we continue to have discussions, is sometimes the specialty clinics within the dental schools are not part, but our dental schools in general are part.
Yeah, because I went through the website, I looked at all the clinics, and none of the dental schools in Northern California were mentioned, but this is good to know. Thank you.
No, thank you for that. Maybe we'll figure out a way to, thanks for saying that. We'll look at that.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side would like to speak? Dr. Thakur? Dr. Forge? I'm sorry, Dr. Forge. Yes, your turn.
I had a question about transportation. You said you provide transportation. How do they qualify for transportation, and do the members know that?
Whether or not they know, that's a good question. We try to really make visible that transportation is available, but we also don't want it to be abused. So there's that careful line of how do you inform, but you also protect and be a good steward of resources. If someone ever says they need transportation, we will offer transportation and do everything we can to make sure that transportation is timely and good. And we track that. We work with our medical managed care plans to make sure that transportation is given. And that's one of the things at the department we closely monitor to make sure that that's given in a good way.
Well,
just
I
to say
work.
it's
Well, my concern is that there's a lot of patients, for example, like in the dental school and special patient clinics that don't have access to care. And a lot of the factors is due to transportation. And if they knew that transportation was available and they are Denti-Cal patients, and they would probably get to care a lot quicker if they knew it was available to them. And so I was wondering, is there, some kind of guidelines specific that keeps them from knowing that care is available and transportation is available to them?
No, there isn't anything that keeps that. Maybe one of the things we can do when we talk to the universities, and I'm looking at Lisa because she'll help me with this, is we can really educate the universities about the importance of that transportation and that it's available. So we will add that into our teaching of those students. Because, that first line is when you're in school is where you learn things. So we want to make sure that the professionals know that so they can tell beneficiaries or members. The members are told that when they join Medi-Cal overall, that any transportation assistance they need to any medical or dental appointment is available. But if you've ever seen a Medi-Cal packet, they're the most confusing things in the world. And so I think we will continue to find different ways to educate. We do member bulletins on transportation, and we'll continue to do more. So I appreciate you pointing out that there's more we can continue to do in that area.
Yeah, this is member you to kind of give the input to member David Sands question regarding the percentage of dentists that practice that accept Medicare. I think from the CDA most recent figures, around 40% of the dentists take dental care, and but since the Proposition 56, it has increased by 34%. But doesn't mean that all those dentists really take the patient. It depends on the procedure and how much the money that they reimburse. It go back to the same thing: is it profitable for the dentist to take the Medicare patient?
Well, and sometimes it's not always about profit. It's
I understand. Yeah, but sometimes it's based on their calculations too. Yeah.
right. I mean, you have to operate a business, so you can't go broke. Understand that totally. And we appreciate very much that that dentists take that hit, and we know that you're sometimes even losing money and taking Medi-Cal patients. So I just personally want to say thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Felsenfeld, did you have a question? I thought you had a question.
I had a question, but I don't want to depress anybody any further. You're funded by the state for your office, but your funding for the providers is coming out of the federal government from Medicaid. Is that correct?
Well, it's a match. So
It's a match, but
yeah,
federal
part
government's
of it.
contributing.
Mhm.
Given recent events with potential cutback on funding for all kinds of medical things in California, particularly for whatever reason, have you seen already, or are you anticipating a little drop off in your program? That's why I don't want to depress you, but I'm thinking, is this going to be a problem? Because you know what's going on in the national.
Well, I mean, so there is not funding. That's very clear that there's not funding for those who aren't eligible for full federal participation. I'll just say it's about immigration status. So that is state only funded at this point. We have not talked about losing any benefits at all yet. I mean, the legislature was very supportive of dentistry in this last session. I will say we had a lot of very good advocates, and we need to continue to have advocacy to push for looking at the rates and other things, because the Prop 56 won't fund it forever, right? Because the good news is people don't smoke anymore. The bad news is Prop 56 is funded by smoking taxes. So, I mean, it can't fund it forever, because at this point it's coming out of the general fund. And I think with all the pressures that the legislature had, they really cared about dentistry and really do what they can to continue to support. If we do end up with higher rates, we may have to look at benefits. I don't know the answer to that. I just want to be transparent with you when answering the question. I'm a little concerned too. But thank you for the question.
Okay, Anybody else? I know, he wants to be the last. So
One question.
raise your name, please. Make sure I'm sorry, just say your name. Please.
Yogita Thakur. My question is, like Dr. Lorin asked, does everybody have dental coverage through Medicaid? We know they do, and we've really worked hard at the ground level to tell patients you have coverage. But do you know what percentage of people in the entire Medicaid eligible population actually access dental services?
It's not nearly as high as we need it to be. It's less than 50%. And one of the things I'm so excited to have Dr. Nguyen as one of our partners is we really are looking at that connection between oral and physical health. And one of the things that nationally they've done is they have core set measures that every Medicaid area must report on. And 2 of those are about dental. One is about the initial health assessment, including an initial oral evaluation. And the second one is about fluoride. So we do have 2 of those that include dental now, which, well, the fluoride one may be going away. I know that the initial oral health assessment is a new one. And another one that they're looking at adding is the connection between diabetes and oral health care. So, I mean, it's a long road and, you continue to trot it and support it as much as you can, but we are really looking at the connection between the 2 and the measures that we look at in dentistry. One of them is following up after an emergency room visit for oral health. So we hold our managed care plans to that. And we also work with our fee-for-service program to see what we can do to continue to improve those things. So I really love partnering with Lisa because she really is championing that connection and the importance of dealing with oral health to impact physical health overall. So thank you for the question.
We have 2 more questions. Lagi?
Yeah, board member Olagi. So I was looking through all your guys' events on the page. I mean, there's lists and lists of it. And then I know the Smile California representatives are there usually on your guys' behalf. Do you guys ever accept volunteers within the community to
Always.
always? Is that on the website to like do an inquiry?
Make it. Do you know, Lisa?
There's a email on there that you can also just email and say you're interested in helping out with like the mobile van, for example, or you want to partner somehow. And even if it's not the right door, we'll get you to the right door. So you can email any of those and say, I'm interested in XYZ, and then we'll be more than happy to take the assistance and partner.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, no, I saw the Tooth Fairy one for the Dodger Stadium in a past life. I was a Tooth Fairy in the community. So yeah, thank you guys very much.
Also have Mr. Dockery. He has a question.
Thank you. Bryce Doherty, Executive Officer. I really want to thank you for coming today. Obviously a hot topic. I want to reframe this issue in general for the board. We've been hearing presentations on access to care since November of 2025. And just riffing off from what Dr. Thakur said, who's chair of our Access to Care Committee, and Madam President was the former chair of that committee. I just want the board members and the public to understand that our number 1 mission is to protect the public. We are the regulator. Another close second priority for the board is ensuring high access to quality care. That's the major policy objective for us. The data, I hope, will inform our decision making. We don't have a shortage in the number of licensed dentists in California, but what we do have, and it's highly documented, that we have a severe maldistribution of dentists in California and all sorts of providers. Some of that was elucidated in our licensure report today. So just to give us some perspective, what we as the board plan on doing is taking in all of this information, and the committee will be making a recommendation, probably, hopefully, at our first meeting in 2027 on what specific deliverables and things can the board do to help move the needle. And what we've asked everybody who has presented on this item, whether that was HCI twice, the California Dental Association may, now Smile California. You know, I don't want to tease it up too much, but in November, it's probably either it's under development, but it may be Cover California. It may be the dental director of the Office of Oral Health. We will take all this information and we'll make a recommendation. One of the things that I would like to see in these presentations, and I think you hit the nail on the head, is what specifically can the dental board do? How can we partner with you to either amplify, provide additional resources? We have to be careful because we cannot advocate for individual provider rates. That's not our role. We've got a 13 people on this board who have various different affiliations and advocacy that they're doing on their own. I think it's important for us to be mindful of that so we can help fill the gaps. But specifically today, just to get the creative juices flowing for the board, on your presentation on page 154 of the board packet, you talk about the mobile van events, and I couldn't have said it any better than Ms. Olagi. I get those updates, and we're going to be in Tulare County on these 2 days. Those could be things that we could help partner with, that we could help amplify. We can put on our website. We could send out listservs to all of our licensees, amplifying your messaging on that. The other piece that I wanted to mention is if we're talking about specific deliverables, page 155 of the board packet materials in your presentation was specifically the co-branded materials. I think this is a very doable deliverable that the board could decide to co-brand that collateral with you, with our logo, on our website, have it available at these meetings, give them to some of our board members for their offices. These are the sorts of things that I hope kind of come out from these presentations. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it may be a fact that Dr. Thakur and Ms. Medina recommend that we have dbc.ca.gov/access to care, and that page is where all of these kind of resources are. So I know I'm excited about it, clearly. I just want everybody to know that the access to care issue is, we are not tone deaf to that. We are very acutely aware of that. We have rich amount of resources and talent on this board, and we're ready, and we will be discussing it in a public forum, the specific things that we can do. We also could be a convener. We work with stakeholders throughout the dental industry. I know, and for a fact, we have present in the room today, we have representatives from the California Academy of General Dentistry, California Society of Pediatric Dentistry. We work closely with the CDA, all of our stakeholders, the Alliance. We should be pooling all of our resources to help move the needle and help you. So I'll get off my soapbox, but that's what we're excited to move forward with. So thank you.
Just to say back to you, thank you. I will also say, really appreciate your partnership overall. There's probably less than 5% of dentists that are bad actors. Most are great actors. Y'all even partnership with us just in different ways when we have concerns or investigations or something like that. None of that's public and shouldn't be, because you protect people, and we do too. We do what we can to make sure that we support your dentists and dental hygienists. And I know you're not the dental hygienist board, you are the dental board, but just to say, really appreciate the partnership we have with you, and anything we can do to enhance that, we certainly want to do. And if any of you have ideas of how we can better get the message out there, of course, I don't advocate for rates either, but I do become an apologist, because most places I go, people spend about 20 minutes going, "Can you pay us more?" And I'm like, no. But just to say, it's an honor to be here and to get to see the passion you have for dentistry, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. No more comments from the board. So we'd like to take comments from the people present here today. Please state your name.
Hello, Tuka Zokai from the California Dental Association. Nice to see some friends. This was a fantastic presentation, and it's great to see that, the focus was on the program and its health. When I came back in May to present, we were still facing those projected budget cuts, and we were still in kind of, negotiations and advocacy with the legislature. wanted to answer a couple questions that came up from comments. The first is about half of enrolled children in the Medi-Cal program do see a dentist and utilize services, but a little less than a quarter of adults utilize services. So that may also speak to the maldistribution and the challenges in accessing care when enrolled in the program. But we have seen a healthy enrollment of dentists, as Dr. Yu kind of stole the thunder. But it is great to see that, while some communities may not have as many providers enrolled, we do see 40% enrolled in the program. Now, the extension of the program is for 1 year as written, but we are continuing to advocate. CDA does have saveourdentalcare.org. That website is still active. I know I shared that back in May, but wanted to share that our work is continuing. We're continuing to advocate for the continuation of the program. And, ideally it would be expansion. With the decreasing revenue stream of Prop 56 funding, we also do need to see how we can creatively continue to fund the program. I just want to say thank you for having this series as a board. I think it was great for us to talk about access to care and look at all the different players. So CDA is very excited for the November meeting. And if there's anything that we can also offer to help clarify what dentists are saying, thinking regarding the Medi-Cal program, their challenges, we also collect that information through surveying. The most striking statistic that I will reiterate is that 1 in 3 dentists said they would disenroll in the program if the cuts do take place, and we still have a year till that currently that's proposed. So this, it's a not so great situation that could get worse, but we've been able to advocate for its continuation once, and we'll continue that work. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
Sherry Becker, representing the Dental Assisting Alliance. We did support Prop 56 for that, and also to let you know that we would also be in support of providing for volunteer events with dental assistants. So we do on a number of our websites offer on our homepage volunteer events that are coming up, and that goes throughout the state of California. So we would offer that as well.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I still can't. I will master it. I will master it with one more. Give me 1 year. Good afternoon, everyone. Evelyn Boutien, California Society of Pediatric Dentistry. I also represent myself, Evelyn Boutien, from a CSPD standpoint. Thank you so much for everything and for the presentation this afternoon. We have 40% of pediatric dentists in California that do work with Denti-Cal, and of course, we can always increase that, knowing there's 8 million children and only half of those being seen right now is a tragedy. However, I do represent myself as a attending at the NYU Langone program down in San Diego. And the beautiful part is if the residency program is part of an FQHC or community program, then I believe that signing up for the Denti-Cal is a lot easier. But please let us know as a CSPD organization what we can do to help partner. And I will also bring this to the executive board and let them know this wonderful presentation. And I've already contacted our director from NYU Langone to show them all the material you have presented today. So thank you. We'd love to continue working with you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Okay, are there any public comments from individuals participating via WebEx? DCA moderator, please facilitate the lines for public comment.
This is the moderator for members of the public on WebEx. If you would like to make a public comment on this item, please use the raise hand icon on your WebEx screen. Or if you're an audio-only participant, you may press *3 on your device. Instructions will be displayed. I do not see any requests for comment. I will turn the meeting back to you.
Madam Chair, this
Uh,
may be out of order, but I have something I'd like to state.
Okay, go ahead.
So,
Just say your name, please.
Angie, Angie
Angie Medina. Okay.
I just would like to say that one option in terms of partnerships could be with libraries. I happen to be an LA County Library Commissioner, and just in LA County, county libraries only, there's 86 libraries, not counting the individual city libraries. So that could be a potential opportunity, especially with the branding. because the libraries have their vans that they go out to schools and that, but they also do a lot of fairs, a lot of activities, booths where they can share branded materials and, get a wider distribution.
Thank you very much for that comment. We'll certainly look into that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. And again, thank you for your presentation. I really enjoyed it. Dana Durham and Dr. Wen, thank you very much. And also thank you to our Access to Care Chair, Dr. Thakur. And it looks like we are now on our last agenda item, number 15. And this concludes today's session. Open session is recessed until Thursday, August 13, 2026, tomorrow at 9 a.m. The board will now convene in closed session. Don't leave.